We are into Grand Alliance Chaos, and we're going to go straight into the Beastclaw Raiders. In this one, we have got Michael Lewis. Sorry, Beast Chaos. Yeah, you can see it's getting to me, guys. It's getting to me. 5.5 hours in. Michael Lewis, he is singing Beasts of Chaos. In this instance, he is singing the subfaction All Herd. So at the end of the battle shop phase, you get to return D3 plus 3 models to each Gore, Ungore Raiders on the battlefield. Grand strategy is protect the Hearthstone. No enemy units within 9 inches of the Hearthstone, and it wasn't smashed to rubble. And he's opted for the Bloodthirsty Triumph. In this instance, then, he's gone with the Doomball as his general, with the Bestial Cunning, which means that after deployment, you get to pick one friendly reserve unit. When this unit is set up, it can be placed 7 inches away from enemies, as opposed to traditional 9. And he's got the Bray Blast Trumpet. Now, this is once per battle at the end of your movement phase, you can roll dice. On a 2-up, you can summon in a unit of 10 Gores, or 10 Ungores, or 10 Ungore Raiders. If you roll a 1, you still summon it in, but they're a little bit delayed and they come in at the next movement phase. So it still happens. Great Grey Shaman in with the Law of the Twisted Wilds. He's gone with Vicious Stranglethorns, which is a casting value of 5, a range of 18, and you get to pick one enemy unit and they cannot pile in into your next hero phase. Moving on from that one, we've got another Grey Shaman. He's got the Tendrils of Atrophy, which is casting value of 7, range of 12. The effect is you pick one enemy unit, and for each attack into that unit does an additional +1 damage. Battle line wise, he's gone with the sturdy 9 Bull Gores, 20 Gores, 10 Gores, 20 Ungore Raiders, 1 Cockatrice, and a Gorgon. Core Battalion is a battle regiment, coming in with a 1-drop at 1960. His BCP ranking is 255. Jason, what do you think?
I am really interested in Beast of Chaos at the minute because it's just an interesting way to fight the battle. Some of the stuff they use, like the Gorgon, I love his. He auto slays 3 models, does break it down, but still at the beginning, 3 models, up to 3 models, I should say. And it's just one of those really nice things. It's the Beast of Chaos thing. The hidden volley from the Ungore Raiders. It is weird, but great. Just not seeing them on the board, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I saw everyone taking cockatrices, and I didn't understand why. And now I've actually properly looked into it. They're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start of combat phase, you pick an enemy within 6 inches. On a 4-up, it does D3 mortal wounds. If any of those go through, you can only hit on 6s.
Yeah.
It's just...
and that's 6 inches outside of combat.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. I don't know why I've never really seen it before, but I love that model.
Mm-hmm.
Like, other stuff is just really good. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Traconda's also just said in chat and everything that Cockatrice is like the Coke Light of Bellacore in his mind. And you can certainly see the potential in that one, yeah, absolutely. Some things to point out in this, though, guys, is like Ungore Raiders, they have, as we've heard before, about the hidden volley once per battle. If they're in reserve, you can pick a spot on the battlefield and they can shoot the nearest enemy unit. Great. Like Jason said, with the Cockatrice, we already know about that one. Gores, they can make a 1 enemy unit strike last on a 3-up. So that's kind of cool, particularly for Gores. Wow, that's cool. And Bull Gores, they have the impact hits. You get to roll for all models in this unit, and on 2-up they do a mortal wound. Hits of 6s as well do mortal wounds instead of damage, just flat out mortal wounds. So nice one. Doom Ball also has impact hits, so on a 2-up it does D3 mortal wounds. Hits of 6s, once again, do mortal wounds instead of the damage applied. And he has a command ability where in the combat phase he can charge a Warherd unit. So one of the units that we've been describing below. Yeah, it's a sort of list you kind of see now and again for Beast of Chaos, don't you? When they've stepped away from perhaps the larger models and they go for what is essentially the reserve coming from different directions and whatnot. And I think he's taking full advantage of his all-herd sub-faction. So it has good options, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how he does with it. Draconda's also said, because people took Be'lakor instead of a cockatrice, if only you could have both. Nope, let's not go that direction, shall we? Let's not, no. Any final thoughts, Jason, before we move on?
No real final thoughts. I mean, it's just a nice list. I like it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Lewis, good luck, sir. We hope you do well. Owen Jackson. Here we go, guys. Here we go. You want to see what power is? We come to this man and everything. Owen Jackson is taking Darkwalkers. So basically that means at the end of your movement phase, you can choose one Ungor unit, Raiders unit within 9 inches of the edge. They can be taken off and they can come on within 9 inches of another board edge and 9 inches away from one of your units. He's then also gone with Grand Strategy of Spellcasting Savant, keeping your Antorian General alive, Locust General alive, and then he's gone for the Bloodthirsty Triumph. Leaders, once again, the Great Bray Shaman. He's gone with the command trait of Bestial Cunning, so basically that means after deployment, once again, he can bring another unit in. They can be placed more than 7 inches away from the enemy units. Brave Blast Trumpet, as we've talked about before, and Hoarfrost. He then just has a standard Doom Pool. He then has 10 Ungors, 20 Ungor Raiders, 10 Ungor Raiders, 2 units of 6 Bulgors, 6 Beasts of Chaos Sangor Enlightened, and a Cockatrice. Now he's gone Battle Regiment with this one, but it still makes him a 4-drop, and 1970, he has a BCP ranking of 121. Jason, you like Owen Jackson, don't you?
He's an old school OBR player, of course I like him.
Indeed, yeah.
Simple as that. That's the only answer I can give. Yeah. Instantly makes him amazing in my eyes. The actual list, yeah, it's a really nice list. It's got a lot of models on the board. A couple of tweaks there, which is nice with the Beast of Chaos Angors. But it's going to do well, especially with the general. The general knows what he's doing. It's going to do amazing.
Yeah. To give you some other details as well, like the Great Bray Shaman has a spell of his own called Devolve, casting value of 7 and 18-inch range. You can pick one enemy unit, and each time they attempt to move, run, or retreat, or charge, 3d6, charge roll 3d6. What?
You roll 3d6.
Oh, okay. And it's only bravery, they half the move or charge distance. I see, sorry, okay. No comma there. Good lord, the grammar. And then all the other things that we've already said. Now, like Draconda said, like he likes this list. The 2x6 Bulgors and Enlightened make it so there are backup hammers. Definitely no eggs in one basket on this mentality. And I think you're right there, Draconda. Absolutely. He has a couple of options here of how to play with them and how to play around it, depending on what he's playing against. And he still has the versatility of the reserve rule with the Ungors, Gors, and Ungor Raiders. And the Cockatrice, as Jason said, is still quite a potential punchy model to have behind your lines, doing what it does best. So, yes, absolutely. Any other thoughts, Jason?
I'm just looking at how many models he's got on the board and how tough they are to get off. It's going to be a tough list, simple as that.
Yeah, because I'm just seeing how easy it is, the Bulgors, how quickly they can go down. Let's have a quick look on the stats. Good old, what's the app here? Bulgors. So they are 4 wounds on a 5-up save in this instance. And then they got the good damage output and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's 24 wounds on a 5-up save standard per 6 Bulgors. It's nothing to be snubbed at, but shadow it out.
No. I like it. I really do like this list. And
yeah, and Owen Jackson knows what he's doing, as people have been saying in this and everything. It is the Owen Jackson. He's going to soon give a run for Chuck Norris on Chuck Norris jokes and everything. It'll be the Owen Jackson jokes. But Yeah, watch this space. I mean, I know you're probably not watching, but all we'd like to say to you is good luck, sir. Moving on, we now have Simon Stevens, and he has taken Quake Fray. We don't have the Quake Fray capability or review written at the bottom. No, it doesn't look like it. In the meantime, then, we have Protect the Herdstone, so basically no enemy units within 9 inches of the Herdstone, and make sure it wasn't smashed to rubble. Now, this one, he has taken in his leaders One-Eyed Grunnock, so another Gargant coming in on that one. Kind of cool. He's opted for Beast of Chaos Sangor Shaman with a Brave Blast Trumpet and Merciless Blizzard. He then has a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth as his general, coming in with Bestial Cunning, which is exactly what we've heard before. And then he's got the artifact of Slitherak Helm. And that Slitherak means that after a charge, on a 2+, he can pick one enemy unit and they are set to strike last. He then has the Hailstorm spell, which is casting value of 6 and a range of 21. Pick one enemy unit and they half the move, run, and or charge rolls of that unit until your next hero phase. Great Grey Shaman then comes in with a spell of Tendrils Atrophy, which we've already talked about, getting the +1 damage. Battle line wise, he's kept it very simple in this one. He's got one Gorgon, a reinforced unit of Dragon Ogres, reinforced unit of Dragon Ogres. With a Warlord Battalion, he's 7 drops, 2k on the nose, and a BCP ranking of 1912. Do we know what Quake Fray does?
Yeah, I'm just checking, basically, because it gives Cygors the Priest keyword.
Jolly good!
Which he doesn't have in Cygors. And then it gives access to a prayer, which you need a priest for.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's which chosen.
I'm just making sure in the background, making sure something hasn't gone wrong, but...
No, that's fine. Whilst Jason is kind of checking that, now we would say that whilst we've gone through all these lists, there are times we picked up...
There you go.
Oh, go on, Jason.
It makes the Gorgon battle line.
Okay, hence why he's got it. Okay.
That's the only reason. He doesn't get the other benefits.
No other benefits, but at least that's what he needs it for and everything. Okay, fair enough. What are your thoughts though, Jason, with the Gargant being in this list?
It's always going to be fun to find a giant, mega Gargant in this somewhere. I've got this big fascination with him recently. It's another strong list. Slightly less so than other lists, but it is a different but strong list again. We were talking about this earlier with the Gits one, I can't remember, Protect the Shrine, or whatever it's called. 12-inch bubble, don't have any enemies. They have the equivalent one with Protect the Herdstone, but 9-inch bubble, and they were saying it's a smaller base.
It's a smaller base on them.
So it makes it a little bit easier, but still, I feel like if you've got a fast-moving enemy, it's going to be hard not to block that Grand Strat, but that's it really.
The other thing I forgot to put in is they also have the Doom Blast Dirge Horn as an end spell. A couple of notes to make out with One-Eyed Grunnock, it's a -1 to hit if you're within 6 inches of him. And this unit, if this unit has already attacked with jump up and down, -1 to hit within 6 inches, and this unit has already attacked with jump up and down in this phase. Okay, so yeah, it's -1 to hit after he's done that. So cool. The Shaggoth has a 4-up spell ignore. For anyone who wants to know. And also at the end of combat you can heal D3 wounds, and every enemy unit within 3 inches on a 2-up also suffers D3 mortal wounds. He also has his own spell of Summon Lightning, casting value of 7 and a 24-inch range, and the effect is essentially he heals D3 wounds to D3 Thunderscorn, essentially Dragon Ogre units. Dragon Ogre units, there's something to consider that at the end of combat they can also heal D3 and then do D3 mortal wounds to enemy units. And on charges, hits of 6 auto wound. So nice. Gorgon also can auto slay up to 3 models. The amount brackets down depending on the damage table, of course. And you basically roll dice, and if it's higher than the wounds on the model, it is slain, and you actually heal the wounds of the characteristic of the slain model. So nice. You can get some up there. Overall,
got the end spell at all.
Sorry?
I love that in the spell.
Go for it.
The Doom Blast Dirge Horn.
Yep.
When you set it up, it has a range of 6 inches, and it's -1 to wound. Simple as that. Every turn it is still on. Every battle round? Sorry, it is still on the field, its range increases by 6 inches. So it just gets bigger and bigger, -1 to hit wound bubble.
Nice. Okay.
I think it's such a nice little in the spell. Okay, it's only casting value of 6, so it'll get dispelled, but I still think that's really fun to use.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can certainly see the option that Simon has with potentially bringing that in. Yeah, as Draconda said, respect for using Dragon Ogres. They are expensive, but that they can do the work. Absolutely. Dragon Ogres have felt the sting of the points. But in this instance, though, it certainly looks like something that can achieve what it wants if it makes them work correctly, especially alongside the Shaggoth. So, yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts then, Jason, before we move on?
Nothing much about this list. I think it is, and I say this quite a lot, but I like fighting armies, even if they are going to absolutely destroy me. It's just a slightly different take on it, which is really nice to see. It's not always the same IDK Sharks at the minute, sort of thing.
Yeah.
There is difference in there.
I would point out there, people who are watching the stream, that the Dragon Ogres aren't 210 for 6. That would be doubled up to 420 for 6. But the points still work out. I just noticed that. I was like, that seems a bit cheap. But yes, you're absolutely, you're right on that one. Simon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump straight into Slaanesh for a minute? Instead of go to Khorne, because Mike could be here, and he's our Khorne player. He knows it all.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to jump the Khorne list. I bet some of you will scream out, say why? Well, because
it'll only be a few lists behind.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of Slaanesh lists to go through, so we'll do that, and then we'll do.
If he's here, great. If he's not, we'll just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So bear with me whilst I do this. It's so cool doing this kind of thing, isn't it? Let's take us out of display. Give me a second, guys. No. Oh yeah. So let's just. I'm gonna have to
click a load.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Just keep clicking through
it. What's that? You didn't see anything, stream? Excellent. Good to see you supporting us in the right way. Come on. The reason being, basically, Mike will be joining us very shortly, in actual fact. And we just want to make sure that we get his expertise on that. He did want to be here for more of the chaos, but his work has got in the way, unfortunately. But he'll be with us shortly. Let's go back into the presentation. Here we go then. So yes, we are going to jump to Slaanesh. There we go, like nothing happened. Because it didn't, did it, stream?
Pretty seamless there.
So seamless. Okay then, we are now with Craig Morris with the Headlights of Slaanesh. He's running the Pretenders sub-faction. So basically, in the hero phase, you get to have 3 command points for your general instead of the normal 1. And at the same time, the general can issue the same command up to 3 times. He has a grand strategy of Glutton for Depravity, which means that he has to have more than 36 Depravity points by the end of the game. Very easy to do. Triumph is Inspired. Now, this is curious because this won't be the first time we hear about it. Leaders. Craig has brought Shalaxi Hellbane with him. Got the Shining Aegis, which means he gets the board save, and he's got the spell of Born of Damnation. So with that, the Born of Damnation is casting value of 6, and basically you roll 6 dice, and for each 4 up, you get an additional Depravity point. He then has a Shard Speaker of Slaanesh with the spell Horfos. We'll go back to the Shard Speaker shortly. He's got a Contorted Epitome with the Blizzard. Lord of Pain as his general, with the Strength of Godhood command trait, which basically means that once per turn, if his general issues a command to a different friendly unit, until the end of that turn, you improve the render that characteristic of the general's melee weapons by 1 and add 1 to the damage characteristic of the melee weapon as well. As you're probably already aware, you cannot accumulate this in mass quantities, making him a death wheel of destruction. He is just that sort of thing. And then he has a Crown of Dark Secrets, which means at the start of the hero phase, you pick one enemy unit on the battlefield, and for the rest of the battle, whilst the unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, their attack's characteristic is reduced to 1 for their melee weapons. He then has the Keeper of Secrets, once again with Shining Aegis, and the spell of Born of Damnation. Coming on the battle line, he has 2 units of Blitzbarb Archers, a unit of Myrmidon Painbringers, and a unit of Blitzbarb Seekers. Taking advantage of a battle regiment, he is 3-drop and 1990 with a global BCP ranking of 1563. So, thoughts, Jason?
You know Slaanesh a lot better than me. I've fought them once since their new book.
Yeah.
And that Crown of the Dark Secrets is scarily good when you come up against an elite army like OBR. 6 of Mortis Guard, and instantly they go down to 1 attack apiece instead of 3. It cut them off at the knees before they could really do anything. Painbringers are fun. Blitzbarb Archers is the current thing that everyone seems to be taking, that just shoot everything, because they are really good. Keeper of Secrets. On paper, when I first looked at it, I thought, okay, Keeper of Secrets is good, but nothing too crazy. Now I'm having fought them, Keeper of Secrets is really good. It is really dangerous in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right in thinking Contorted Epitome is the successful cast one? Yeah,
that's right. The Contorted Epitome will force you to re-roll successful casts, and if you, if I remember correctly, oh no, that's the Enraptress. So yeah, so just it forces you to re-roll casting. Oh no, you can re-roll casting rolls. It's the Enraptress that forces you to. Sorry, carry on, Jason.
There you go. No, that was it really. It's I think this list is going to do well just because the heroes they've got really do buff up what they need to, and they can get in there and fight themselves quite happily.
Absolutely. I'll just go through some of the abilities on this one. Now, the Epitome, like I said, you can reroll casting rolls if you so wish. Note, if you do so, you will not be able to use the primal dice. But it has a 2-up ward save against mortal wounds with the Contorted, and also, whilst he's within 3 inches of enemies, they cannot receive or issue commands, and they also cannot retreat. So, quite effective with the Epitome. Shalaxi, on the other hand, now this has been a bit of a controversial thought, and I was surprised to see here, not only on this list, but on 1 or 2 others. Shalaxi basically is what people would class probably too expensive for what it does. But when you look at the War Scroll, it can actually do something if used correctly. Currently, Soul Piercer is its weapon, 2 attacks, 3s, 2s, -3 for D3 +3. Okay. Now, with Delicate Precision, he has as an ability, wound rolls are 6, jump straight to mortal wounds. Fair enough. He has an ability called the Killing Blow. At the start of the combat phase, you get to pick an enemy hero within 3 inches. All of your attacks for that Shalaxi must focus on that hero, but if it does, the damage of Soul Piercer is straight out 6. Okay. He has a Cloak of Constriction, which is a -1 to hit and wound for melee weapons against him. And then it has another thing called Irresistible Challenge. So in the enemy charge phase, before you start your charges, at the start of it, he can pick a unit within 12 inches and can issue a challenge to a hero, so a hero unit, admittedly. If they refuse, they take D3 mortal wounds, done and dusted. If they accept, they must attempt to charge Shalaxi. Okay? And then if they fail that charge, they still take the D3 mortal wounds. The thing about Shalaxi is, against the right model, could do work, without a shadow of a doubt, but it's expensive for what it is. On paper. Likewise, the Keeper Secrets on paper is a very low War Scroll for its points evaluation, but when you then start getting the depravity points building up, the -1 to hit, the 6s doing mortal wounds, the 5-up ward, okay, they really get 5-up wards, but whatever. It can help them along the path. Looking further into this, Keeper of Secrets, for those who don't know, they have once per battle ability where they can get a friendly unit to strike a second time in combat, but they strike last on the second time round. The Lord of Pain has a 4+ ward save, and any saves he makes, being wounds or mortal wounds, with that 4 ward save will do a mortal wound back at the enemy unit. And whilst it's so long as it's contesting an objective, any friendly units wholly within 12 inches of him get a +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Shard Speaker as well is something you'll see coming up quite a bit. Essentially, in the shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 9 inches, roll a dice, and on a 4 up, they get a -1 to their save until your next hero phase. And Mist Lurkers is if you cast a spell, not only does the Shard Speaker get a 4 up ward save, but it then activates his claw attacks profile into your next hero phase, making him a much more violent and aggressive combat piece if you so wish to get him in there. So it does make work. Looking into it further as well, you've got the idea that Painbringers, they get a +1 while wholly within enemy territory or wholly within 12 inches of an objective not controlled by you. And then Blitzbarb Archers, they can run and shoot, and 21 shots coming out of that unit. 4s, 3s, -1 for 1. So it can add up. It can add up. Overall, it's not a bad list. I'm very surprised Shalaxi's in there, but I'm sure this individual has a plan in mind for that. Any final thoughts there, Jason?
Final thoughts. I actually disagree. I think Shalaxi is she's expensive, but for what she can do, I think she's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, playing as an OBR player, Catacross, if I got that one, if I got Shalaxi coming into me against Catacross, I would be scared. Catacross is a tough one to take down, but Shalaxi will put him down.
Okay.
Yeah. It really depends on how you play them. You need to forget normal units and get them into those heroes. Is there a teleport spell at all for these guys? I don't.
No, not on this listing. No.
So there's no teleport. But I mean, you just get them around to the hero, and that's it. You can start deleting heroes off the board with that.
You can, absolutely. Yeah. And I think quintessentially, Slaanesh has become very much an army of you have to be articulate, selecting where you do your fighting and everything like that. And if you get it right, then you can destroy an opponent. So yeah. But Craig Morris, good luck with this one. I hope it does well. Moving on, we're then going to go on to Ben Adlam. He has got, he's gone with Pretenders again and Spellcasting Savant, keeping that Wizard General alive. We see the Contorted Epitome as his general with the Strength of Godhood, so exactly the same as last time. He's then got the Crown of Dark Secrets, totally makes sense. And then he's gone with the Universal Spell Law Flaming Weapon, giving him that +1 damage for himself. He then has a Lord of Pain, and second time we see Shalaxi in here with a Born of Damnation spell. Battle line, 2 units of Blitzbarb Archers and a unit of Seekers. And then we have a unit of Blitzbarb Seekers and a reinforced unit of Slick Blade Seekers. Coming in a battle reg and with a Dreadful Visage Endless Spell, this is a 1-drop at 1960 with a BCP ranking of 3279. Any thoughts on this one, Jason?
I do have a few, but I'll throw it straight back to you first, because like I said, you know Slaanesh better than me. This used to be your army.
Yep. As Bathtub Bean has pointed out, he said, let's go, Ben. Oh, whoop, oh, whoop. Ben Adlam, I believe, is actually one of our Rusty Nukers. So, yeah, I hope you do well, Ben. In terms of this list, you got the statutory Blitzbarb Archers in there. The Seekers are fast. Crazy fast. I mean, they can run and charge. I think they have a 2d6 run when they do run, in addition to their normal move. They can get about the field. And if I remember correctly, I'll need to have a look at their war score and everything, but if they slay a model, they actually add 1 to their attacks profile. So, if they keep going through, at the end of each battle round, each combat phase, they get to add 1 to their profile. So they could do work. Admittedly, that is only 10 wounds on a 5-up save. But they are fast. They can get around the board when they want to. Blitzbarb Seekers are always a good choice as well. Archers on Horsey, on Nenes. What's not to love there? Slick Bays. Now, I used to love these. They're 20, but normally they're 20 wounds. So in this instance, they're 40 wounds there. On a 4-up save. No, maybe a 5-up save. But they changed some of the rules in the new book, and I'm being a bit kind of slightly pushed away from them. I have them on my shelf and I do love them. But I have to certainly give them a bit more opportunity before I kind of pass judgment on them. But other than that, though, to be honest, the Contorted Epitome is generally an auto take. Lord of Pain's pretty damn good, and Shalaxi as well. Well, Shalaxi we already just talked about. It's a well-rounded list for what Slaanesh is. Can't really fault it. I hope it does all right. But what about you then, Jason?
So yeah, pretty much exactly what you say. It's a very well-rounded list. What I would say is you've got a lot of movement there. Those Seekers, you can't understate how fast they can move.
Mm-hmm.
They can just disappear from one side of the board to the other in one go. And you're like, ow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and apart from that, really good heroes. Like I said, Shalaxi again. See, I'm like, I said I agree with Shalaxi. I think it's worthwhile try. Yeah, I like it. What does the end of spell do, though?
Dreadful Visage is a casting value of 7, 12-inch move. Basically, the 12-inch range, so to set up. It moves 8 inches, and after the move, you roll 6 dice for the closest unit, and on 4-ups, they take mortal wounds. If wounds are taken, they then also strike last. Now, in addition, it has a 12-inch bubble around it. For enemy units, it's -1 bravery, and for Slaanesh units, it's +1 bravery. We have Michael. He has arrived.
Hello.
Lord and Saviour. Good to see you, sir.
Good Lord and Saviour. That's a great introduction, but slightly overstating.
Look, we've shuffled things around. We wanted you here for the chaos, and by God, you've made it. So thank you so much for being part of this stream.
No
This is
problem.
Michael, one of our other co-hosts who generally joins us in for the other streams that we do, and he kind of runs it. Well, he doesn't kind of. He runs the other stream segment we do, which is live from the bottom half. But we'll talk about it later. We're just in the middle of Ben Adlam's list, so one of our rusty nukers.
Okay.
Basically, he's running Slaanesh with the Contorted Epitome, Lord of Pain, Shalaxi Hellbane, 2 unit split of archers, unit Seekers, unit Blitzbarb Seekers, and a unit of reinforced Slick Blade Seekers. We were just talking about the potential of it. I know you're chucking you in the deep end on this one. Any thoughts at all?
Yeah, lots of potential. Slick Blades, obviously taking one away from your save, add all the other debuffs you get for it. Contorted Epitome is the one that forces re-rolls within 18. Is that right?
No, that's the Raptress. He can re-roll his own casting rolls if he chooses to.
I've been here 30 seconds and I've already messed up.
No, I didn't know. One list before that, we were exactly doing the same things.
Good start, good start. Slaanesh Hellbane, I think, is great at carving stuff up. So I'm not looking forward to facing any Slaanesh. Once all those buffs get off, getting high depravity is probably not going to be a big deal for this list. And then you're +1 or -1 to hit them, 5-up ward, and exploding 6s.
Yeah.
So yeah, 22 archers, I think is pretty standard. So no, I like this. I don't know the artifacts. Though whenever someone picks flaming weapon, it normally means something is pretty fighty on some level.
So with the Contorted Epitome, it adds a little bit more damage to him. The Crown of Dark Secret essentially means at the start of the first hero phase, he picks one enemy unit on the battlefield. For the rest of the unit, whilst your Contorted Epitome is within 6 inches of him, of that enemy unit, their attacks characteristic for melee weapons gets reduced to 1.
Right, there we go.
And then his Strength of Godhood, essentially, as long as he does issues the command ability to a different friendly unit, he increases his rend and damage on his melee weapons by 1. So
okay, so a lot of fighty stuff in here.
You can add up on the Contorted Epitome, yeah. So it has merit, definitely. Bartok Bean saying, my Vanguard do not like the Strength of Godhood. No, Jason's Praetorians did not like the Strength of Godhood.
Immortus Guard.
Immortus Guard, sorry.
They're just, no.
So,
he killed them straight outright. Couldn't do anything back.
But Ben, we hope you do well, mate. We'll definitely see you there at the tournament and everything, and good luck on that one. Moving on to the final Slanesh list that we have, only 3 people here. We've got Francesco Zila. He's also gone Pretenders, and then he's gone with Selfish Desire for the Grand Strategy, meaning if he does not summon any units in, he gets his Grand Strat. Easy peasy. He has got a Lord of Pain as his general with command trait of Heroic Stature, which means +1 to his wounds characteristic, each of them. And then once again, he's got the Crown of Dark sequence. The Infernal Raptress is also in here, and that's the one which forces you to re-roll your spells for the enemy. Enemy gets reinforced the spells. And then when they do, if you roll a double or have a 1 in your casting rolls, you take D3 mortal wounds. And then he has Glutos in as well, Lord of Gluttony coming in as well with the Born of Damnation spell. On the back of that, though, he has 2 units of Blitzbarb Archers, 2 units of Reinforced Simberish Twin Souls, and 1 Reinforced unit of Fiends. With a core battalion of Battle Regiment, he's a 1-drop at 2,000 points and a BCP ranking of 2807. So, Michael, any initial thoughts?
Again, with Slanesh Like the Army, the grand strategy is pretty much an automatic. It's the best grand strategy in the game because you also don't need to spend any money on extra models that you do not need. Just don't bring them to the tournament, and you have 15 points from grand strategies over your entire time. So great move there. Symbiosis Twin Souls instead of Painbringers. When you've got a Lord of Pain, so with the Painbringers, also get a lot of bonus with that, which you don't get with the Twin Souls, but a 5-up ward of them and -1 to other people's attacks. So
yeah,
that's the thing that stood out to me. 6 Fiends. Am I right in thinking they just had a points decrease recently?
I think you're right.
Yeah, so
I think so.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so my thoughts on that is that this is actually a very good looking army. The Twin Souls models are great, the Fiends are great, Glutos is a beast. I don't know much about Glutos, so I won't wax lyrical about what I don't know.
Do you want me to give you some notes on it and thoughts on them?
Yeah.
On Glutos. So basically, he has what's known as a Grand Gourmet, which means each battle round he adds a little bit of bonus and is cumulative, and it affects mortal units mainly. But things to keep in mind on this one, he has something called Gorge on Excess, which means at the start of the hero phase, you select 1 friendly unit, and each time that unit fights, you can heal the number of wounds equal to the wounds inflicted on the enemy unit to a maximum of 6. That's when you probably bring in the Fiends alongside him and then do that sort of thing. And then he's got Fog of Temptation, which is a 12-inch bubble, and any enemy units that are within that bubble -1 to hit, in addition to probably the additional -1 to hit that you're going to get. And then taking that into account with the Fiends, which already have a -1 to hit and wound for units attacking that unit in combat. That's going up to a -3. Fiends also have a -1 to casting, unbinding, and dispelling for enemy wizards within 12 inches of this unit. And also the Fiends as well, with their Barb Stinger attacks. If the enemy unit is a 1 wound characteristic, the damage is 1. If it's 2 to 3 on their wound characteristic, it's D3, and if it's a 4-up, it's D6 damage. So yeah, but basically there's a big point on Glutos. He's 80 wounds on a 3-up, 5-up, so he's not going anywhere fast.
Yeah, I think I preferred it when Slanesh was just sex things and not all these insane debuffs for their fetishes. So we're going back to the old Slanesh, where it's just knickers and bras. But I think inherently there's quite a lot of NPE in Slanesh armies. They can be a little bit negative to play against, but every army's got their thing. There's only 3 lists, so I'm hoping to avoid them. That's my thoughts. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's a good list, especially with all those debuffs going off. Yeah,
exactly. Your thoughts, Jason?
Pretty exactly what you're saying. I've only fought Glutos old rules who used to lose abilities more wounds you gave him, so he suddenly got really bad as you moved on. But now I can understand why they've used him. The Twin Souls I like, the Fiends I like. I think there's a lot of fightiness there, which is quite nice from this army. Cause the other army, when I have fought them, it's just been a lot of mobility and pulling in where they wanted to. Like we were saying, choose your fights. But this one's just go in there and smash.
Like Glutos, you just fall him up like a tank, sit him in the middle of the battlefield and just say, do what you can, guys. No, you're absolutely right. No, the old Glutos War Scroll, when you first do his first couple of wounds, he would lose his 5-up ward. I mean, just ridiculous. So the idea that he's now permanently attached to the War Scroll is a great big relief. But I think you hit the nail on the head with this one, Jason. It's like Slaanesh has been fundamentally an MP experience for a lot of players going against it, and it's a shame. I've shelved my Slaanesh as a consequence because I don't want to be bringing them out. But at the same time, I respect people who are using the army because it has potential, and it shouldn't be ruled out just because of what Games Workshop have done. Francesco, thank you so much for that list, and good luck. What we can do we run back up the list now up to Khorne and go from there?
Go straight for Khorne. I know people have been waiting for Khorne.
Okay then, so let's see how fast my computer does this.
Now we've got Michael here,
We have.
It's time to bring him out.
I know a number of people in the chat and everything have been like, yeah, Khorne! Like, why? Why, guys?
There you go.
So, the first person we're going to look at here is an absolute beast of a man and everything. And lo and behold, it's our very own Michael Mayer, who's on the stream with us. Do you want to read out your list, Michael?
Yeah, I can. I walk for my list. So we are Reapers of Vengeance. It means that whenever I target a hero, an enemy hero, I don't know why I needed to specify that. With an attack, so missile or melee, I get +1 to hit. If I kill a hero, I get 2 blood tithe points. An enemy hero, 2 blood tithe points instead of 1. So it is a good self-action for harvesting blood tithe points. And one of my favourite things to do with Khorne is summon nonsense as I go along. Slaughter Sorcery is maybe it used to be an auto pick with Khorne because you have no wizards and you have to go kill. Now people in this meta are kind of getting used to protecting wizards. It's not a guarantee like it was when we first got the book. But yes, Slaughter Sorcery, kill wizards, or well, at least make sure there's no wizards on the board at the end. For my heroes, we have 3 Bloodthirsters. Wrath of Khorne, Insensate Rage, and Scarbrand. We've got 2 Slaughter Priests to support them as well. Then Battle Line, 2 Claws of Karanak, 10 Blood Reavers, Flesh Hounds, and then 2 Skull Cannons. So, how does this work? This is a multi-activation Bloodthirster list. I have given the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster the Halo of Blood, which means he gets strike first. Once he fights, I can pick either a Bloodthirster Insensate Rage, or if I had a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, one of those, and I can activate it straight away after. So I essentially give that strike first again, and then it goes to the usual progression, and I get picked a unit to fight, so I then pick Scarbrand. So essentially what I want to do is manage the battlefield to allow all my Bloodthirsters to get in, and then I pick the 3 fights, and then hopefully there'll be nothing within 3 left for someone else to pick. There will be, because no one brings flimsy lines anymore, and Bloodthirsters can be quite swinging. Slaughter Priest. Oh, for my general, I've made him a priest, and I'm taking Unholy Flames. His command trait is Firebrand, which makes him a priest, which gives him +1. Well, with a prayer, can give someone +1 to rend. I've taken Killer Instinct and Bronze Flesh as my other prayers and my other Slaughter Priest. Important to note that you'll see as we go through these, so Bronze Flesh gives you +1 to save. Killer Instinct lets you move in the hero phase. So essentially, I could give a Bloodthirster over a turn 24 inches of movement, and then this challenging test. With the battle line stuff, the Claws of Karanak, we set up. Then before we determine priority, I move them a normal move. So 6 inches they move. So it's basically, if you play 40k, it's a scout move. It's just a pre-move for lowly ages Sigma players. Blood Reavers are blood banks. They do nothing. They are 4s and 4s to attack each. I was unfortunate to have a match with a Skaven player, and Clan Rats and Blood Reavers went into each other, and it was like watching 2 toddlers fight. Nothing was getting killed and nothing was injured. They are essentially an 80-point blood type point. That's all we use them for. They can be good for space. There are other plays. I run a play list where I use them to hold my back line because they're nice and cheap. But that's what they are. Flesh Hounds are in here because I had 100 points left over, and I didn't know if I wanted to take Flesh Hounds or another incarnation. I'll come to incarnations in a bit. I went with Flesh Hounds because they get an extra unbind. So I've got 3 unbinds in the army. And they've got good movement, so +2 to charge. So you will have noticed our first battle map is going to be quite hard for Khorne to get battle tactics on the first round to get my territory. So that's that. Skull Cannons. I like Skull Cannons. That's the only reason they're on this list. I don't care if they are not meta. I do not care if they are no good. I want Skull Cannons. They're one of my favourite models, and I want to shoot people. They're Beds and Reapers of Vengeance. I get +1 to attack. That includes melee, so they are hitting on 2s and 3s automatically to wound. And the basic plan is if you have a mount or you have a big hero, I'm throwing 8 shots, 2s, 3s, -2 D3 damage. And hopefully getting the blood type points. Traditionally, getting blood type points from my Skull Cannon has been kill themselves. The trick to Skull Cannons is, though, it's not just a shooting. They are essentially, they're a chariot. So you want to get it into combat, because if you kill a model in combat, you can shoot immediately. So it's throwing you up again. 4 more attacks, 3s, -2 D3 damage. So it's a very movable front line. I was playing Khorne in 2.0, and this is very close to how I used to play Khorne in 2.0. I changed it up for 3 when I was in the last season I was trying to get wins. I was taking a flayed. This is going back to the traditional, here's a bunch of trash and here's a bunch of bloodthirsters. And let's see what happens. So that's what I've done. I've taken the Hex Gorgeous Skulls. This is a -2 to your casting if you're within 8. And if you roll on a modified 8 within 8, it explodes, and every wizard takes D6 mortal wounds. Or every wizard, sorry, takes D6 mortal wounds. And to help with that, I've taken Adornment, which makes 1s, 2s, and 3s miscasts. You miscast against Khorne, it's D6 mortal wounds. So essentially, Magic Army can come across, and it's 1s, 2s, 3s are miscast, Hex Gorgeous Skulls are -2, and if you roll an 8, it explodes. I fought 2 Zinch Army with James Linford, and I went 2 rounds and did not hit anything with all of that on. So it doesn't always work, but it's fun to give that to the opponent, because essentially we're playing an opponent, and to give them that dilemma of do I cast or do I not for Magic Army is quite good. So yeah, we'll go through the Khorne list now. This is not necessarily the greatest list you're going to see. There's some really good ones, but this is what I want to take. This is my fun. The other artifact I will mention is Argoth, the King of Blades, on my Insensate Rage. Means you can't take ward saves if you're within 3 inches. The Insensate Rage is what was called the Boom Thirster. 6 is the wound, do at top bracket 4 mortal wounds to everyone within 8 enemies. So that's what that is. Yeah. So to reiterate, Wrath of Khorne goes in, activates, kills a bunch of stuff. He chooses Insensate Rage, kills a bunch of stuff, explodes a bunch of stuff. Scarbrand does his thing. Then hopefully you have enough blood type to then reactivate Hero Phase and do it all again. So you can't use the pick the next Bloodthirster to activate in the Hero Phase if you do that. And now I have told everybody how my list works. If you beat me, you have to subscribe, because that's the exchange. Like, you can beat me, that's fine. But make sure you like.
Now he told you his plan.
Yeah, you make sure you follow this stream.
I'm just going to point out a couple of notes for those who are watching and don't know about it. With Khorne, the prayers, you got a Killer Instinct in this list, which is answer value of 3, range of 16 inches. You get to pick one friendly unit and not in combat, and they can make a move. Unholy Flames is an answer value of 4, range of 16 inches. Until your next hero phase, you increase the rend by 1 on a selected friendly unit. Bronze Flesh is answer value of 3, range of 16 inches. Pick one enemy unit not in combat, and they must make an 8-inch move towards you, closer towards the Chanter. And then Blood Boil with the Slaughter Priest gets this. Answer value of 4, range of 16 inches, D6 mortal wounds to a selected enemy unit. The reason I'm just throwing them in there is because as we go through the next several lists and everything, you'll see that these kind of keep coming up again. And you will also notice Michael was kind of like the owner for sorting out these lists and everything. You'll notice that Argath, the King of Blades name, will slightly change every so often because it's used a lot.
We're having fun.
Jason, what are your thoughts on this then, sir?
Well, to be fair, it's me and you, Mike. We'll be probably playing Battle 3 day 1, like always.
Yeah.
And bloodthirsters, they either kill everything or run into you and fall over and die. That's why I've seen them before. I think it'll be an interesting list to fight just because of the giant demons flying around everywhere.
Yeah.
And I want to see Mike's skull cannons in use. I really do. Just for the sake of he's brought them, I've got to see him actually just do something.
So do I. Just one thing. I've got 5 games to do one thing. That's what I want.
I like it. I do like it. Mike knows his army. He knows Khorne very well, so I'm sure this will do all right. I don't want to say really well because you've got skull cannons.
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there, guys, as well. We're showing the skull cannons. One of the rules that skull cannons do have, viewers, is that in combat, if they actually do any wounds, they get to immediately shoot. Kind of cool as well. Okay, I know they probably won't last, but
because the thing is, it's a shooting cat. So if you manage to like kill the last thing, you're shooting into across the board if you want to. So you have those rare, but because it's not shabby in combat.
No,
it's not great, but it's got mortal wounds. It can eat stuff. You never know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You do know, but you never know.
It's the quintessential let's hope for the best mentality.
Yeah, that's what we do with Khorne.
Well, Michael, I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. I'm not going to say hope you do well. You're going to have a lot of fun with your army. So, no, I hope you do well. I hope you do well, and good luck with this one, sir, definitely. Moving on then, we have Buddy Lane. He's bringing the Reapers of Vengeance, so similar to Michael on this one, and Slaughter Sorcery, so make sure no wizards alive at the end of the battle. He's got Bloodthirster and Fetid Fury as the general with the Firebrand command trait, which essentially makes him a priest. His artifact is, here we go, Ara Joarf, the King of Blades. And then he has the Killer Instinct prayer and the Bloodbind prayer. The Killer Instinct is the answer value of 3 in 16-inch range. The unit can move in the hero phase. And also Bloodbind is answer value of 3, 16-inch range. Unit within 16 inches must move towards the caster, like we said before. Scarbrand is in here. He then has a Herald of Khorne on Bloodthrone, with the bronze flesh and unholy flames prayers. He has a slaughter priest with the blood sacrifice, and then the Witchbane curse prayer, which is an answer value of 3, and then it's basically -1 to casting for a wizard that is visible. If it fails to cast a spell or one is unbound, it then takes an additional D3 mortal wounds. Not too shabby. Has a pouch of null dust, and then we've got Scar Bloodbath as well. Battle line wise, we've got a reinforced bloodletter unit twice over, so 30 bloodletters, 10 blood reavers, 5 Garrex reavers, and then we have it all wrapped up in a battle regiment and warlord, and then he's also got the Wrath Axe Hexgorger's invocation, I'm guessing. 7-drop, 2,000 points. He's BCP ranking of 10,257. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so we have, I think we've got one thing is we're going to have the same sort of things appear in Khorne list. The Wrath of, the Unfettered Fury one of its abilities it will give to the Bloodletters, I imagine, is a 3d6 charge. So you have 30 Bloodletters really coming across at you, and then they're hitting 6s or mortal wounds. So there's quite a lot of output there. We should mention the Herald of Bloodthrone. His on scroll prayer is on a 4-up return. I think it's D6 bloodletters back to the unit.
Is it really?
So
right, okay.
Yes. And if you, I'll double check that. It is definitely a bring people back, because you can give him an artifact which does the same sort of thing. The other interesting thing here is Scar Bloodwrath. So Scar Bloodwrath, he runs in, he has a tax profile which is equal to the number of models around him. 3/3 minus 1/1. So he does that, and then you kill him. And then at the end of the next movement phase, in either player's turn, roll 2 dice, and 8, he reappears 9 inches away from everyone, wherever he wants on the battlefield.
Nice.
So that is essentially a deep strike tech, because you kill him, and then he's on your back objective, because your opponent's rolled an 8. And that causes a lot of headaches. Last time I used him, because I have him here completely unpainted, he's not coming with me. That's what I did. I threw him into some Nighthaunt. He got murdered. I popped him behind on their back objective, and there's a lot of board control there. So he's really, really good. And you'll see that's kind of that is the only real play you'll see with that. Blood Reavers are Blood Reavers. Gaunt's Reavers are Blood Reavers. A little bit more expensive. I think they've got exactly the same wounds, but they are warband. And your Blood Letters on Battle Shock. If you roll a 1, it comes back. You bring models back. So yeah. Other than that, Witchbane Curse, if we have, is a casting value of 4, I think.
It's answer value of 3. Yeah.
All right. Any wizard within sight gets -1 to casting, and if they don't cast or it is unbound, it's D3 mortal wounds to them.
Yeah.
So you add that on with the Hex Gorgeous, that's -3. You add that on with miscasts. I'm not sure how it's stacked. I imagine it's a triggered one, it doesn't stack, but it's again D6. So again, very anti-magic play. We should say all Khorne have a 5 spell ignore, which gives you a blood tide point as well, which is kind of very well known with Khorne, but that is just something to bear in mind. Other than that, yeah, Bloodbind I really like. It normally appears on my list because being able to drag people out of position 8 inches is very, very good. Like Fire Slayers, for example, they need their little bubbles.
Yeah.
Move towards 8 degrees, 8 inches, you don't get that bubble anymore. And you're still have a 5-up save. So yeah, it's a really good list. Yeah, the Bloodletters, you'll be surprised their output. Like, I know it's 30 Bloodletters, they've got a lot of output, but it'll still pretty shock you. it will shock you how much they can get in and how hard they are to clear when you can resummon them quite easily and rally them.
Yeah.
Also,
I underestimated those Bloodletters last tournament.
If you're outside of 8 inches, they've got a 5-up ward, so shooting attacks aren't an E. It's only a 5-up ward, but it's still a ward. So shooting isn't great against them because there is 60 wounds in that unit.
Right.
Fun times. Other than that, just to dig into Scarbrand a little bit, 1 attack is an Asterix attack. It's 8 mortal wounds on a dice roll. You roll a 6, it's 16 mortal wounds. 9 attacks at top bracket or bottom bracket of him are 2s, -2, 3. He will mince through stuff and has a 3d6 charge.
Yes.
That's why I take him in every list.
Yeah, even that's him nerfed. That's the crazy thing, Stream. That's him nerfed.
He's got stronger. I thought he'd been nerfed because originally he goes to bottom bracket if he hadn't fought in at least 1 round of the previous battle round in the last book.
Yeah.
Now he has to fight in both battle rounds or he's at bottom bracket. So he stays stronger a lot longer. Like you can fight him once and move him out of combat, and then he can fight at full top bracket again, which has essentially adds 1/3 onto his potential top bracket attacks. Really, because I thought he'd been nerfed. Then no, he's worse. He's worse than he's ever been.
That's fair. Jason, what's your thoughts?
Exactly what Mike was saying. Don't underestimate those Bloodletters. The mortal wound output for those is insane just because of the amount of dice that can roll. They don't go anywhere. 2 wounds a piece, so it's 60 wounds in that unit. They're horrible. They absolutely destroyed me last time. The rest of this, it's very similar to Mike's list in terms of the other Bloodthirster. You had Incessant Rage, this is Unfettered Rage, isn't it? But effectively, Bloodthirsters and a few extra heroes to buff up and do things. Yeah, it's going to be another one. I think we're going to see lists very similar to this, probably quite a lot through this.
Yeah, which is why I think it's good that we're just talking about it now, and then we'll kind of pick up the pace as we go along. But Buddy Lane, it looks like you have done tournaments before, and I hope you do well with this one to bring your BCP ranking up. So good luck. Moving on, we're now going to check out with Daniel Orsundin's list. Now, he's gone with a sub-faction of the Bloodlords, which means when charging units with the Bloodletters keyword, when they charge, with the Bloodletters keyword, they cause mortals on 5+, and the sequence ends. Okay, you might have to explain a little bit in a moment, Michael. Grand strategy, the Blood Legions march. Summon demons every turn after the first battle round, okay? Leaders then, Bloodthirster on Infected Fury with the General. He's got the Firebrand, which is the same as before. Artifact, Ars, and Tiddies, the King of Blades. And then he's got the prayer of Bloodbind and Killer Instinct. We then have a Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne with the Blood Sacrifice prayer, and then the Universal Prayer of Curse. He then has the Slaughter Priest with Killer Instinct and Bronze Flesh. He then has an ally. Now, this is going to be a bit of contention for us for you Khorne players. He has a Magister from the Coven of Thrix. Yes, a Zinch unit in Khorne. But we should go on before. Battle line, 10 Blood Reavers, 8 Claws of Karanak, another unit of Karanak, 20 Bloodletters. I assume that where it says Karanak, just Karanak. Oh, because he's a model, isn't he? Individual model. Yeah. 5 Wrathmongers, 10 Horrors of Zinch as part of the Coven. And then a Cygor, because what's not to slap Khorne in the face, then throwing in more stuff. Battalion, though, he has got Warlord, and he has got the Coven of Thrix. And then he has got the Burgeoning Sigil of Zinch. He's got a Demonic Simulacrum, and then he's got the Tome of Eyes. Let's just throw every magic end of the spell in there. 11 drops, 2,000 points, with a BCP ranking of 130. We weren't sure that you would be allowed to do this with the whole Zinch thing. We checked it, and apparently you can. So, Michael, go for it.
Right. So, what is worth starting off with, because it's been raised in the comments, like Dominic said, there's some hidden tech in here. I will tell you all day how my list works, because it is my list, and I'll tell you all the tech you need to do. I'm not going to go into the tech and the hidden tactics as other people's lists, because that's just not the game. So there is some really, really great stuff in here. It's a really great list. I didn't know you could do this because of the Zin stuff. So if you can, you can. It's a regiment of running. So there is some really great stuff in here. I love seeing Karanak appear. I have him. I have lists of just dogs. So I'm sure to count on it. He's with his mates, so that's all good. But to go through, we've done the prayers. The only new prayer here is the universal spell of Curse. So Curse lets you you pick a unit. 6 is unmodified. 6 is the hit. Do a mortal wound in addition. Now, with Bloodlords, what it is when you charge mortal wounds on 5 and 6 is when the sequence ends. So what you can do then is, as it's a triggered, you pick the one you want. So you can curse a unit, hit them with Bloodletters, 5+ ends it. 6 is then continue to wound. So that is a trigger effect that happens. Other than that, Claws of Karanak have to move and summon dogs, and he can. I think he can. In fact, I'm like 99% sure he can summon them into combat as well. So the same way they can walk into combat, they can also he can summon dogs into combat. And Horses Zinch in here, I don't think they can split again.
No, they
I
can't.
think they have to be Petty Vengeance, which isn't great, but it's 320 points with a Magister, all the endless spells. You're still getting quite a good deal on this. And a Cygor is another anti-magic piece. You pick, I think you cast a spell within 18 of it, you take a mortal wound, and I believe it can eat. I've got eat endless spells. We can definitely do something to endless spells, which hurt endless spells feelings. Bloodleader's March is a very interesting one, summoning every single turn. I imagine there's a lot of blood tithe building up in this list, so that's what you want to be doing. I think that is kind of the coolest one for Khorne. To be fair, if I could enter a casual game, if I could summon every turn, I'd have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, that's a great list. A really, really great list.
Do we want to explain how they have managed to break the laws of chaos and brought Tzeentch in with Khorne?
It's a regiment of renowned.
Yeah.
So that's how it comes in. However, in the law, there is this device that when you piss off Khorne, he throws you into it. This is where the soul grinders come from, or something like that. And if you haven't checked them out, there's a great podcast with the Mortal Realms. And they're talking about this. And there's a question as to whether if you piss Khorne off enough, he gives you the Tzeentch to turn you into a blue hover. So maybe that's how we argue this one. Now, that is stretching like Armstrong to do it. But rules-wise, table-wise, is a regiment of renown. Yeah. So it bypasses everything else. As I say, we were all a little bit confused by it, but we have confirmed with the TOs, and they're all happy with it. And if they're happy, I'm happy.
Cool.
Not as a Khorne player. I am angry that someone dares look at Magic. But, you know, as a normal human being.
You can't have an allied wizard in Khorne, but regiments are renowned are classed as coalition units, so you're allowed them. That's the way Russ explained it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Still.
Dominic has commented in the chat saying, you know, that he picked this up and in the checking and everything, there's a great list of hidden tech in there. So, yeah, I think you explained it rather well there, Mike. Jason, your thoughts at all?
It's so different. I've got no idea. I really don't. The fact you've got spells in Khorne, it just seems wrong, but I just don't know. I'm sure there's a reason I'm not seeing, let's put it that way, behind it. I'm positive of it. I just don't know 100%.
Years in 2.0, one thing I used to do in pickup games, and Kieran was seeing me do this, is I used to take the chromatic cogs and the arcane tome, and I just summon that, stick it, and then try and basically ignore spells on my own. And I used to be able to build up quite a lot, but it was the old book. I didn't have to take any damage. You don't want to take damage and stuff like that. But that's how I used to try and do it 2.0. And it felt dirty.
Yeah,
it felt so dirty to be like, have a priest who's also got this secret book with magic.
Yeah, so like we just had Great Flesh also come in here saying coalition units can't be wizards either, so no idea what's going on. You're not alone, mate. Well, you're not alone. We sat here yesterday kind of pondering on it. We had to go to the TO just to kind of really get to grips with the idea of how Tzeentch have come into Khorne. But you know, the rules as written allow the Regiment of Renown to come in. So who are we to argue with GW's mentality when it clashes with law? Daniel,
yes.
You know what you're doing, sir, and we wish you the best of luck with this one. Yeah, good luck. Moving on then, we have got John Burgess. Now, he's gone with the Reapers of Vengeance and Slaughter Sorcery, so nothing new there. He's got Bloodthirster with Unfettered Fury, with the Firebrand, Me Hearties, the King of Blades, Unholy Flames, Killer Instinct, and Bloodbind. He then has a Realm Gore Ritualist with the Prayers of Killer Instinct, Bronze Flesh, and Witchbane Curse. He has a Slaughter Priest with Bronze Flesh, Killer Instinct, and a Blood Sacrifice. Korgus Cull, Scarbrand, and another Slaughter Priest with one's Flesh Killer Instinct and Blood Sacrifice. He then backs up their leaders with 10 Blood Reavers, 10 Blood Warriors, 5 Flesh Hounds, a unit of Claws of Karanak, and then 3 Mighty Skull Crushers, wrapping these in 2 Warlord regiments, and having the Hedge Gorger's Vast Axe. He's 11 drops with unknown points, I'm not sure why, and a BCP ranking of 784. Michael, a couple of different names in there. What do you think?
There is. And this is someone I definitely want to talk to because I love Corgus Cole. I have him in some Gore Tide lists because he's very he's very good. I actually think he might be in the chat, so expect me to come be finding you at a tournament because any reason to use Corgus Cole, I think is great. He's got a lot of benefits. He's got an 8-inch piling. He has stuff that affects the Gore Tide more than anything else, but as in with murder rolls, which is a great little bit of tech. He also has, if he hits you with his axe and you don't die, he gets to roll a 5 up if he's put a wound on you and you're just dead. no, unless you've got like the Sons of Bam, you can take that 2d6. So that's what he does. Blood Warriors are legitimately my favorite unit in the game. They are just a bunch of angry, armored up guys. 3 natural save on a 3. Attacks aren't great. 3s, 4s, -1/1. 2 murder rolls, but they are just sticky. I take units of 30. Just throw them into combat, bring them out, rally them, send them back in. It's a great bit of tech with them. They are really fun. Mighty Skull Crushers are the same. Only 3 here, but 2 up save, doing mortals on the charge. A lot of good stuff. The rest of it, as we say, with Khorne is kind of the same-ish. The Realm Gore Ritualist is, for all intents and purposes, the Realm Gore Ritualist is a slaughter priest. 2 difference. Their war scroll prayer minus 1 from attacks, and once per battle they can carve their name into a piece of terrain and give everybody +1 to hit. In Reaper's Avengers, you might not always need that +1 to hit, but again, it's a great way of boosting your army. And yeah, as you just mentioned there, using the Warriors and Skullcrushers as a roadblock is exactly what they are for. They give you so much board control that they're just really, really good.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Here is one of the big plays of Khorne is to take as many prayers as you can. 2 warlords. You have priests all over the place, loads of prayer choices, loads of redundancy. So you're getting all that good stuff. Killer Instinct or F1, fantastic. You want that. Bronze Flesh, I think it is on 2. You need that, +1 to save. You're going to have your Skull Crushers on a 1-up, like your 10 Blood Warriors on a 2-up. That's before you do all out defense and take away 1 attack from them as well. So it's a really great sort of fighting army here. I always appreciate mortals being on the board, like they're cooler than demons. Other than that, like it's Hexgorge just got the Rafax as well, which is essentially it moves 8 inches. If it goes over you on a 2-up, it's D3 mortal wounds, and then you can choose to explode it at the end of that move. Pick 1 unit within an inch. And it's nothing kind of 1. I think it's 2 to 4 is D3, 5 to 6 is D6 mortal wounds. But that's a king. You can just keep it around and just dump it wherever you want and annoy people. But there's a Khorne class we're all into, really, really annoying people with murder, lust, and axes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically it. Always happy to see Corgus Cole. It gives me confidence. I want to try a Gore Tide list, but it doesn't appear a lot, so I'm always nervous about having all my arms get killed straight away. As he's mentioned, he does have the pouch of known dust. The same one I use. 1s, 2s, and 3s are which is really, really good for Khorne. You can really close down a magic phase with that.
No, absolutely.
So big fan again. And yeah, Corgus Cole gives you bonus points to me.
Absolutely, no, cool. Yeah, I just want to say to the stream and everything that actually Gitly in our chat and everyone is none other than John Burgess here. He's been saying that this is his. He's only been to one tournament since coming back to AOS. So John, good luck with this one, mate. Because you know it's considering you got a BCP ranking of 784. Are you sure it's only been to one tournament? Yeah. Sounds like you've got a great list here and everything, and like I said, I did win it, to be frank. Okay, fair enough. He's open up front on that one. No wonder he's so high. I expect. Yeah, go on.
Say that first, buddy. Don't be like I've been to one tournament. Yeah, I don't know. Won it. I even know. No one came close to me.
In the towel, so it'll be enough, guys. You know what? Don't need me
Yeah,
bushing around here,
champion.
pushing Owen Jackson out of the way and other people out of the way. No.
Yeah. I haven't actually corn.
No, unless you got any thoughts, Jason, at all.
Nothing more to add. No, it's just gonna be. Yeah, I'll see you at the tournament.
Yeah. It was a one day. Even now, one day he destroys the opponents.
Yeah, I came third from last in my last one day.
I don't know where I came. I came last, I think, so I had 3 losses. Anyway, on that one though, John, sir, I hope you really enjoy the weekend ahead. It'd be great to meet up with you when you're there and everything, and we hope you do really well. Good luck, sir. Moving on, we have, and I apologise if I get your name kind of a little bit mixed up. I do this every time, but he's been on previous list reviews. Christoph Zillari. There you go. Let's go with that one. You can always slap me around this weekend if I've got your name wrong. Anyway, Reapers of Vengeance, once again, and he's gone with Baron Ice Cape for his grand strategy. So all enemies with an artifact must be destroyed, and no enemy units within 6 inches of the centre of the battlefield. He's got the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster as his general with the Firebrand, Halo of Blood allowing him to strike first, and he's got the Bloodbind Prayer, Scarbrand, Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury with the Our Boy Gareth, the King of Blades, Zarshia Bittersoul. I'm sure you guys are just writing and making these names up as it goes along. You got Drom, you got a Slaughter Priest with Killer Instinct. Sorry, Drom does have Blood Sacrifice. Battle line, you have a unit of Claws of Karanak, 10 Blood Reavers, a unit of Flesh Hounds, 3 Ogrewoid Therodons, Kargra's Reavers, and the Gore Chosen of Drom. In that then is wrapped into 2 Warlord and a Vanguard Battalion. He's got the Wrath Axe Invocation, 12 drops, 1990, with a BCP ranking of 1559. Your thoughts, Michael?
Okay, so we have gone from Zinch as being the ally to Slaves of Darkness here. There's quite a bit of Slaves of Darkness in, well, I'll say quite a bit. Zarsia, Bitter Soul, and Calgus Reavers are the Slaves of Darkness warband, which does make them a wizard. Which we really need to come at some point saying this is another wizard who's coming for a coalition. So apparently, Khorne is not paying attention to London GT. By the way, that's the warband, and that's Calgus Reavers. He has a spell. I can't remember saying it's a Khorne. 12-inch range, 6-inch casting value, which is basically a teleport spell, but within 24 inches of with 24 inches of the caster. So like the Slaves of Darkness, teleport spells. The Reavers are kind of a support. Drom is a named priest. It's the Khorne warband. He has his own War Scroll spell, which I need to double check is I'm going to jump around on this because everyone's bringing coalition. So on a range, value of 4, range of 16. Oh, you draw a line, and basically everything on that line takes D3 mortal wounds on a 2-up. So like the Luminar of Hayish, essentially. And then he has the Gore Chosen of Drom with him, and they give him a 5+ ward if they're all hanging out together. So again, there's an extra 80 points. It's 70 points extra, and you get a couple of support units. So he'll pretty fighty as well. Ogrewoid Therodons are big, burly Slaves of Darkness things, big axes, a lot of damage. They are 3s -2/3, or 3s -1/2, depending on what the build out is of them. They only have a save of 5. If you do damage, they get +1 to wound, and once per battle, they can fight twice, with Strike Last being applied to them. So, you know, very good units to have in there. It is 180 points. It's an interesting choice. I'm not sure really. I'd like to see this in action, to be honest. Clearly, he's a good player. And again, like Zinj and like the Corvus Core, I kind of want to see what the tech is that's getting brought in here. Artifact Halo of Blood is strike first.
Yeah.
If you don't already know that. And this, like my list, is a multi-activated list. This is about getting your Bloodthirsters fighting 3 times before someone gets to respond. So a lot of battle line management and a lot of Bloodthirster chucking, basically. Baron Eye Escape. Yeah. Kill anyone with an artifact. Make sure no one's within 6 inches of the center. If you have that many Bloodthirsters, you're hoping no one's coming over the board anyway.
Like, bring it.
Yeah. So yeah, Fleshhounds give you an extra unbind. I don't think Drom gets an unbind, but a Slaughter Priest does. Claws of Karnak and Blood Reavers are good, mostly there for blood type points. I say that Claws of Karnak, so you get some good position to get your screens up there.
Awesome.
So yeah, other than that, I think we've seen most of this beforehand. I'm looking. Yeah.
Your thoughts, Jason?
I'm just finding it weird that we can get wizards. I'm just checking out, just seeing if I can find a rule that says around it again.
You trying to be the Reaper of Tears, are you, sir?
No.
No.
If the rules say so, it's the rules. I don't know. I just can't understand how Khorne can have wizards and it's actually allowed.
Yep.
I'm trying to work it out now, but apart from that, the list itself is really nice. I feel like a lot of this is going to be hidden skills that just I don't know, and it's just going to suddenly come on and I go, yeah.
Nice.
Great. Okay, that's going to kill that one.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Christoph, I know that you've done other ones that we reviewed before. I hope you do really well, sir. And hope to see you there. Good luck. Moving on, we then move into Luke Skelton. He's gone with Self-Faction Bloodlords, which we don't actually have the ability on there. So Michael will probably give us a quick overview on that one. Yeah. Grand strategy is Overshadow, so basically kill all the enemy battle line units and have at least one of yours alive. He then has the Bloodthirster on Fetch Fury with R. Kelly, the King of Blades, and the Killer Instinct. He's then got Scarbrand, Bloodmaster with the Blood Sacrifice spell and hand-carved Nullstone icon. Battle line wise, he's then got 20 Bloodthirsters, 20 Bloodletters, 20 Bloodletters, and then for a little bit of change, a unit of Claws of Karnak. Coming in on a battle regiment with 1 drop, 2000 on the nose. He is a BCP ranking of 235. What does Bloodlords do, Michael?
So this is the one we mentioned earlier, where when Bloodletters charge, they get 5 up as mortal wounds as opposed to 6 ups. So here is what you would expect for a Bloodlord list is lots and lots of Bloodletters. And in this list we have lots and lots of Bloodletters. 2 units of reinforced Bloodletters that have 40 attacks each, 2-inch range, all getting in. 1/3 of those attacks will end up being mortal wounds. So tasty. Here just again, but get that number. It's a 1-drop, which is really interesting. When the Khorne book came out, it was a big call up if you take 1 drop so you can control the flow of play, or you take Warlords, command abilities like we're seeing, and get extra prayers. So clearly this is still a debate. So 1-drop list, not that the Unfettered Fury and Scarbrand are going to have a hard time getting across to you. The Unfettered Fury can give a unit a 3d6 charge. So murder. Titan Admiral.
Oh.
Yeah,
isn't
no,
this
that's
two drops?
this is a
Is
2
it
drop,
two
not a
ten
1 drop.
wounds?
Yeah, Bloodthirster and Scarbrand. This should be down to 2 drop.
I'm sorry there, stream. You're right. It is a 2 drop. You're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, this is me who made the slide, and you find out as you attend more list reviews that I am pretty stupid. But yes, that's you're right. Thank you for that. This is a 2 drop, Tartan Admiral.
No, thank you, Tartan.
Yes. So
Yeah,
yeah, bar that it's a 2 drop, but yeah, they'll be able to cover that ground pretty fast. Claws Cannon might be a good screen, but yeah, they will want to dictate the flow of battle.
Mm-hmm.
Overshadow, kill all enemy battle line units, and you have at least 1. Well, you have 120 wounds of bloodletters to get through before anything else. And they are very good at carving down battle line units. So you would hope that is achievable. Well, it should be achievable. I'm sure it is. It's got very high ranking. Yeah, I think it's the purest Bloodlords list I've seen in a while, and looks good to me. Handcarved non-style icon, is that the spell ignore?
Yes, that's right. It's yes, it is, isn't it, Jason? Yeah.
I'm still on this wizard thing. It's doing my head in.
Jason, accept it for what it is, sir. Accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know me. I can't.
Gitli
I like
has said it was changing the FAQ, so it's
it's
been
updated in the latest FAQ.
The hand carved is the dispel, and if you
keep dispelling,
if you get the dispel, you can keep spelling. You know.
All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Chat, if you tomorrow see the news about a person going wild in a post office, it's Jason still trying to come to grips with
Yeah, it looks like a good all-round list, and Luke Skelton knows what he's doing generally. We've seen him at many tournaments, and he generally ends up quite well off on it all. So, Luke, good luck, sir. I hope you do well on this one. Moving on then, we're then going on to Peter Twig, Reapers of Vengeance with Slaughter of Sorcery. We've got a Bloodmaster with the normal prayers that you would expect, another Bloodmaster with Curse and Killer Instinct, Scarbrand, and then Bloodthirster and Fetch Fury is his hero with Firebrand. I'll be damned, it's the King of Blades, and then the Killer Instinct on Holy Flames. Battle line, we've got 20 Bloodletters, 4 units of Fleshhounds, and 3 Blood Crushers. Coming in with a Warlord and Battle Regiment, and the Wrath Axe and Hexgorger Skulls Invocations, 5 drop, points unknown for some reason, and a global BCP ranking of 157. Jason, your thoughts?
Very similar, lots of Fleshhounds, which is a bit of difference. I'm guessing, Mike, speed and screens?
Yeah, speed, screens, and unbinds. There'll be 4 unbinds in that list.
And bloodletters are just bloodletters.
Blood Crushers are the ones on Juggernauts. So they've got more movement, better armor. They do get decapitating blows, so 6 mortal wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to be fair, his leaders are pretty much. We've spoken about all of them in, I think, pretty much the exact setup multiple times across the list.
Pretty much many times, yeah.
I think that the only thing a difference with this is I can't see as much force in there. It's going to be more Fleshhounds running around, and then the Bloodthirsters doing their job rather than other units doing work around them as well. But I still think it could be good. What are your thoughts, Michael?
Yeah, as Jason said, this is we're into the thick of the corn, so we know how most of this works. Blood Masters have a rule that if they attack, they can nominate a Bloodlet unit to fight right after them. Now, do you want to throw your Blood Master into combat straight away? Probably not, but you know, you're going to want to keep them relatively close with Bronze Flesh and Curse, definitely. Yeah, I think this is it's about the Fleshhounds will create nice screens. They can cover a lot of ground, 5 Fleshhounds, a great little screen. 5 drops, there's a good chance you're going to be given first and you can set up your screens. If you get given second, you can set up behind the Fleshhounds. They can protect everything, which historically is kind of a big thing in Khorne, is protect your bloodthirsters, because if they go down, it's hard to kind of get them back. Well, yeah, and also 4 flesh hounds is 4 blood type points. So when they go down,
yes, it is.
they're paying back.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, well, to be honest, like, not to kind of shun your list, Peter, but like I said, like we covered a lot of it already. You clearly knows what he's doing. We're a BCP ranking on 157 anyway. His points are 1990, just in case anyone is curious. But Peter, we hope you do well as well on this one, and yeah, it'd be good to see what you get lined up against. We then come up to our final Reaper's Khorne one. We've got Reaper's of Vengeance with Slaughter of Sorcery and Inspired Triumph as selected. Bloodthirster and Fetid Fury as a general with the Firebrand, and I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you, like we've been there before. No, I can't, Michael. I just can't. The King of Blades. It's the King of Blades, guys. Okay. Killer Instinct Prayer. Slaughter Priest coming in with the Unholy Flames and the Pouch of Null Dust, and then Scarbrand. Then we actually had to go on because there's lots of leaders on this one. Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster with a Halo Blood, so that's the strike first. He then has the Bloodmaster of Bronze Flesh, Bloodmaster of Blood Sacrifice, 4 units of Flesh Hounds again, and 3 Blood Crushers. He's got a Battle Regiment and a Warlord and Hexgorger Skulls, 6 drops. 1970 with a BCP ranking of 4311. Is there anything we can add that we hadn't already added to this at all, Michael?
You could have sung the artifacts, but no.
You don't want me singing, sir.
You
don't want me singing.
For me, I think most of this has been covered. As I say, there is limited range and so many lists as well. Yeah.
No. I think no. I'm sorry, Matt, Tom. If you're watching and everything, we do apologise. It's not that we don't have the energy or the will to do it, but where we have covered them off with the Reapers lists and everything, there's a lot of repetition in it. So it's not to say it doesn't deserve the time on this one, but it's very similar to what we just saw with Peter Twiggs. The Flesh Hounds will be either blood type points, we assume, and also help out with the just fencing off and everything. And then where you got Scarbrand and the 2 Bloodthirsters. In case, well, it all kind of makes sense with everything that we've gone through. Yeah, once again, though, it seems like a well-rounded list. I can't see any kind of questionable motions around it all. Not to look like we're rushing, because we're not. But good luck, Tom. We hope you do well. Like I said, though, we've done the Slaanesh now, so we'll now go on to the Nurgle lists. So let me just do some clicky because I have to skip past our Slaanesh from earlier. Come on. You gotta love systems, don't you, when it kind of like takes time. There we go. We start with Daniel Tadman coming in with a Befouling Host. If your general is a demon, you can set up 2 Feculent Narwhals. Grand strategy is Tender Garden. Don't have any enemy units within 3 inches of a Feculent Narwhal and have 1 wholly within the enemy territory. He's chosen Triumph of Bloodthirsty. Leaders, he's got the Glotkin with the spell Rancid Visitations, which is a casting value of 6 and a 7-inch range. You get to pick 1 enemy unit and roll a dice for each model in range, and for each 2-up they suffer a mortal wound. You got a Blow-Up Warp Spawn with the spell of Gift of Disease. That's a casting value of 6 and a range of 7 inches. Once again, you pick 1 enemy unit, and that unit and every other unit within 7 inches takes a disease point. He then has the Lord of Afflictions as his general, with the command trait of Overpowering Stench, which we'll probably see quite often. Enemy units within 7 inches of this general cannot issue or receive commands. He's got Dolores Toxin on this, the Incubatch, and then he's got the Split Horn Helm as his artifact, giving him a 4-up ward. There's then a Horticulus Slimux, there we go, and Morbidex Twiceborn, finishing up the leaders. Then we have 3 Beasts of Nurgle. Battle Regiment is thrown in here along with the Umbral Spell Portal, 4-drop, 1990 with a BCP ranking of 847. Jason, what are your thoughts?
I've always struggled once again with Nurgle. I'm it's the disease points. There's a lot of disease points in this one. A lot of ward saves.
Yeah.
I just don't know Nurgle that much. I always get confused with their disease points. They add up and they do mortals at the end, don't they? End of the
Yeah,
turn.
that's right. You roll a number of dice equal to the disease points, and then I believe it's on a 4 they take mortal wounds.
So Glotkin and Blowabba, they don't. They're big monsters. Unless they come up against someone's Gotrek, they're fine.
What?
One thing I did want to call out about Morbidex Twiceborn. Really interesting model. And at the end of the Battle Shock phase, so both Battle Shock phases, he heals half of all the wounds attached to him. So he won't die very easily. You have to knock him out properly, or he's just going to keep healing up.
Yeah, not too shabby.
No, I like it. As in, I think it depends on how you use it, but all of Nurgle is very much hero monstery based. It seems to be, apart from unless you do Blight Lords, which I don't know if I actually saw much this time. So it's going to be all big monstery things.
Yeah, not too sure on that one. We'll have a look. So we've got a couple of lists.
We'll go through them in a second. So yeah.
Before I come to you, Michael, and everything, just a couple of notes for the viewers and everything. The Glotkin has a command ability that both this unit and the receiving unit are within 12, as long as they're within 12 inches of an enemy. This unit and the other unit can attempt to charge at the end of the enemy's movement phase. And also, in the enemy movement phase, roll 2d6 for every enemy unit within 3 inches. If the roll is higher than their bravery, they have to retreat. If they can't, they suffer d6 mortal wounds with the Glotkin. Blowout has a special rule: start the combat phase. Enemy units within 7 inches, you roll a dice. On a 4 up, they suffer a mortal wound. And then also, Lord. +1 to hit as well, is it? Okay, I wasn't sure because there's a couple of notes.
-1 to hit.
-1 to hit. So there's a plus and -1 on notes there. So -1 to hit in addition. Lord of Afflictions, in your hero phase, you roll for all units within 3 inches. On a 2 up, they suffer a mortal wound. And if it has no keyword, it only works on a 6 up. So Skaven getting a little bit of a reprieve there. It has impact hits as well, and on a 4 up, it does d3 mortal wounds. And the Lord of Afflictions can be set up in reserve. But yeah, Michael, any thoughts on this list?
Yeah, I like this list a lot. The B Fouling Host with the Fecklin Narmal, I think, makes this a summoning army. Is somewhat over by people who don't play Nurgle like ourselves. Is sometimes underestimated how much they can summon. And that bringing an extra beast of Nurgle can be really, really good. I think you can summon Plague Drones. But more importantly, you'll be able to bring on stuff like the Scrivener, the Bagpipe guy, who then all buff your stuff, which is really, really good. The Glotkin can deep strike, it's worth saying, which is putting that thing into reserve is a big warning to the opponent. But he's also I love his anti-charge, not anti-charge, being able to declare a charge in your opponent's phase. We speak a lot about causing like the game is to cause dilemmas. There's no good choices. So when you're moving your stuff up and you're picking your charges, you have to take in consideration like, what do I charge first? Because a Glotkin might come storming right after me. And then do I risk it? Do I need it? And it's a really great way of doing it. Oh, so yeah, end of movement phase. So it's great. I have fallen foul to that, and unfortunately, I fell foul to that when I was Skaven. So when the Glotkin came running into my storm, I was like, "All right,
Jesus Christ!"
Beasts and Nurgle are what they are. One of their attacks is D6 attack, so it's all about getting disease points. Now, although I touched on it, to be clear, disease points are every time a Nurgle unit is 6 to hit, you get a marker on your up to 7. At the end of the Battle Shock phase, you roll those dice, or in the Battle Shock, either way, you roll it. There's a 4 up as a mortal wound. However, on the Circle of Twistiness, which Snurgle gets, at one point there'll be a 3 up. So, gift of disease, through the portal, everyone gets hit. Like we see Ben uses the What Marquee to do it. It's just, it's a high skill army. You can tell by this guy's running that he knows what he's doing. And there's going to be stuff in this list that Like I know nothing about Hortulux Limix other than he sounds like a Futurama character. Um, and yeah, it's a really good list. I will expect not to play him because I'll be at the other end of the tournament.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think generally this is an interesting list to see. I think you'll generally see these heroes coming in groups of 2 and 3s at a time as we go through the next couple of lists, I expect. And it'll be good to see, particularly like you said, Daniel has got a good BCP ranking. He clearly knows what he's doing when he does attend these tournaments. So in this instance, we wish you the best, Daniel. Moving on, then we then have got Philip Andrew. Is it Andrew? Sorry, I'm just waiting for my system to catch up with me. Andrew. Now, he's gone with the subfaction of Munificent Wanderers. Every enemy unit within 3 inches of a plague bearer with 10 models or more gain 2 disease points instead of 1. His grand strategy is Tender Garden, to what we just heard before, and he has a Triumph of Bloodthirsty. He's got the Glotkin with the Rancid Visitations, which we just covered. He's got the Votbringer Sorcerer as his general, with the Master of Magic, which we already know what it does. The Split Horn Helm gives him a 4-up ward, and then he has the spell Gift of Disease, which essentially is casting value of 6 and a range of 7. You pick one enemy unit, and that unit and every other unit takes a disease point that we had before. He has Orgot's Demon Spew in here, rounding up his leaders. He then goes into the battle line with 20 Plague Bearers, 10 Plague Bearers, 10 Plague Bearers, a Chaos Chariot, 6 Ogroid Therodons, and 6 Furies. 2 battle regiments in the core battalions and a Suffocating Gravetide makes this a 2-drop at 1990 with a BCP ranking of 780. Thoughts, Michael?
Yeah, a solid Nurgle list. It's interesting to see Furies in that. Furies, I think, are very good. Their ability is, as opposed to fight, they can go. So you can charge you into combat, jump over and go sit in the backfield, sit on objective, cause problems. I really like them. It was something I was very keen to try and get when I was playing Stage of Darkness, but they're sold out everywhere because they were with the beasts. They were like a Warpipe split box, so they're really good. Reinforced Therodons, solid pick. Like sometimes Nurgle lacks a little bit of punch. That is spades of punch right there. That will get through. Plague Bearers, I think it's the right choice. Well, it's not for me to tell you what the right choice is, but extra disease points next to Plague Bearers because you'll get that at the movement phase, the end of combat. You just get an automatic 1 plus all their attacks. So you're going to be hopefully topping people out at 7 disease points pretty much without really trying to do anything.
Yeah.
The Rock, yeah. I've made my thoughts clear on the Chaos Chariot before, but here it is. And this guy's much highly ranked than me, so what do I know about it?
What do you know, Michael?
What do I know? Yeah, he's one in charge, you're going to whip people. So that I like it. Big fan of Plague Bearers. Big fan of the coalitions that have been brought in to support it. And the Glotkins are winning.
Before we go to you, Jason, just going to point out to the viewers, the Orgot's Demon Spew has a 1-shot missile attack. His attack of 1, hits on 3s, 2s, -1 for d6 damage. So it's got a little bit of a missile attack on that one. Ward rolls a 6 to a mortal back to the enemy that is doing it on, and he also gets a free command point once per turn. Jason, any thoughts for yourself?
Nothing. Whereas we spoke about this, most all of this sort of thing. He's building into the sub faction, which is great.
Yeah.
Your Ogroids, I fought Mikes before. They hit damn hard. They do die eventually, but they do hit that damn hard while they're alive.
Yeah.
I think Chaos Chariot was in there just for the sake of it. I feel like just got 80 points. Why not? But
just to annoy Michael.
That's fine. He may have a reason for that one in there. But it's a solid list. It's a fairly standard but solid Nurgle list.
Yeah.
So with a few allies chucked in.
One thing to do bring up is that Nurgle endless spells also get the Nurgle disease points for movement. So that's just their general rule. If they take an endless spell, it can also give disease points. So the base size of a Suffocating Gravetide is basically your average Citron car. So it's got plenty of stuff to be touching. So all good stuff there.
No, absolutely. Philip Andre, we hope you do really well with this. Good luck to it. Moving on then, we're now going on to Thomas Lawler. He has got a befouling host, so once again, if your general is a demon, you can set up 2 fecal and normals. Then he's gone with Tender Garden and Grand Strategy. Leaders-wise, he's got Blowout Bot Spawn. He's got Harbinger of Decay with a Prayer of Heal. He's his general, and he's gone with the Overpowering Stench, which we covered before, as well as the Split Horn Helm. Overpowering Stench, just a reminder, enemy units within 7 inches of the general cannot issue or receive command points. He's got Horticulous, Slimux, Orgox Demon's View, a Glockin again, so 3 for 3 with our list, because this is our last Nurgle list. And then he's got 4 Beasts of Nurgle as his battle line. He's got a Vanguard Battalion. He's 9-drop at 2,000 points, 1475. I'm surprised he didn't take any more battalions, admittedly, but each of their own. Any thoughts on this one, Michael?
I'm really glad to see the Harbinger of Decay. It's the one that came with the Dawnbringers. Overpowering Stench means no command abilities within
7 inches.
7 inches. His War Scroll Prayer is minus. Subtract the battle round from bravery. So -4 to bravery in round 4. Well, that's just the basic numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Subtracted from bravery. I'm sure we don't need to go into this or that. And then a lot of ways he can mess with your movement as well. So I'll be really interested to see how well he does. Not to suggest that I don't think he'll do well, but just how he's used on the table. Because he's a very good control piece. And with Nurgle, you're moving slow, so you can control the other person's speed. That's got to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Glockin's back. I don't know the spell for Glockin. What's Plague Squall?
Now, Plague Squall is casting value of 6, and basically the effect is he rolls 7 dice, and for each 6 he chooses a unit and gives them a disease point.
Oh, all right then. So theoretically, at least 1, hopefully 2 or 3, but you can spike it and give disease points. So that's all great to me. So that's the interesting part is the Harbinger of Decay. I want to see how that goes. And I don't want to see the Glockin.
No, it's a big beastie piece.
Before
I come to Jason, just a quick note to the viewers as well. Beasts of Nurgle, they can run or retreat, and still charge in the same phase. They actually give disease points on retreat, and they also provide impact hits when they do charge in. So nice to know there. Jason, your thoughts?
I'm really interested in that Harbinger of Decay because I loved one of his abilities, but it's kind of null and void now, which is the start of the combat or battle shock phase, choosing an enemy unit within 3 on a 3+, they can't issue or receive commands. So I was thinking, great, stop auto pass battle shock. But then he's also got the command trait that does it within 7 in every enemy unit within 7. So I didn't tie them up until now. But really, really nice list. I want to see how he works. It's nice to see new models on the board when they do come out. It's basically all points gone into the heroes, and I won't say as limited battle line as possible because he's got 4 instead of 3 beasts, but there's not much else you can do.
Not much more going on there, is there? No. No, absolutely. Thomas, we hope you do well as well. And with that, that's the end of our Nurgles. We're now going to the one and only, yes, you can sing it in your head, Ross, because I said it in that way and everything, Skaven list. That's right. Another firm favourite of our friend here, Michael. Paul Hart is bringing Skaven. Sub-faction, lol. And for those who do understand, basically Skaven do not get sub-factions because as long as you have at least one hero from each of their groupings, you get the benefits from it. So no actual set sub-faction. He's got Spellcasting Savant, which means that the chosen wizard has to be alive when the battle ends. His leaders are Roman Lord Deceiver with the Levitate spell and Flaming Weapon spell. He's got Gracio as his general with the Master of Magic and the artifact of the Staff of Rightful Supremacy. The staff is a subtract 1 from casting for enemy wizards within 13 inches of the bearer. And once per battle, he can automatically unbind another spell or a spell. And he's opted to take Skitter Leap and Rupture, which is the first time we've seen it being selected on this one. He's got Slink Skittershank available in there. He's got another Vermin Lord Deceiver with Flaming Weapon and Levitate, and a Deathmaster. And then with his battle line, he's got 10 Gutter Runners, which I believe have been reinforced once, 20 Night Runners, which are reinforced once, 20 Night Runners, and then 10 Night Runners. He's then got core battalions of Battle Regiment and Command Entourage. He then has a Warp Lightning Vortex as an end of spell, 4-drop at 1980 with no global BCP ranking. Now, I will point out that those points in brackets aren't correct, or are they? I'm not sure. But Michael, what are your thoughts on this one?
The points are correct. Not. Oh yeah, because 10 Night Runners should be 90 points.
90 points. That's cool. I thought that was the case, but that's fine.
Yeah, I put LOL. I was going to put Clan Eshin, but when I was doing my first draft, I saw that and I put LOL, and then I changed it. So excuse the unprofessionalism, Twitch.
Like, you know what, Michael? I thought, well, I can see why you put LOL, but okay.
This is a Clan Eshin list essentially. What it means is you pick one hero at the beginning of the battle, and you get +1 to hit and wound on all missile attacks. As he has 3, you have +1 to hit and wound in melee against all heroes for all Clan Eshin guys. So as you can see, all the battle line is Eshin. Skittershank's claw pack should be on here as well. This was a really shoddy job, Michael. So they all have +1 to hit and wounds against all heroes, and +1 to hit and wounds on their missile weapons onto one of them. If it's Gutter Runners, Night Runners, and all have 6 automatic mortal wounds on modified hits of 6. Skittershank is 6 D3 mortal wounds, and the sequence ends. Deceivers are great casters. Well, not great casters, are very good pieces. They can teleport units within 7 so outside of 7 inches, as opposed to 9, and they can teleport each other because they've got 13 wounds, and the 13 wounds is the cap. So you can't teleport a Thankor, but you can teleport another Vermin Lord. They can also, with a command ability, give +1 to hit and wounds to another Clan Eshin, including the Vermin Lord. They can turn into quite a fighty thing. They've got a decent missile attack, so they are fighting. The Skittershank and the Gutter Runners can all start off the board and basically deep strike in. So Gutter Runners need to appear at the end of the first movement phase of yours, within 6 inches of territory and outside of 9 inches of enemies. Their missile attack is 12 inches, so when I play, I use them in like units of 5. I just pop out 5 or 15 attempts, you throw them in. And then they're handy little screens, because that's what Skaven do. You jump out, you throw your stuff, and you wait to get killed. Night Runners have a pre-game move of 2d6. So again, you can throw a line up, and you can just move your screens up to start closing that board space, so it's hard to get to your stuff that matters. With this kind of list, I'm not too sure how it will work, because there's maybe not too much to try to protect. Like, I'm always trying to protect my Sky Alien units, but here it's probably about just getting forward and really putting pressure on the person opposite you. The Gracer, who's a general, has Master of Magic, which is basically full reroll. So you can reroll your casting, you can reroll your unbinding and your dispelling. The Staff of Rightful Supremacy means every wizard within 13 inches gets -1 to their casting. You can give yourself +1 for Gnaw holes. I would assume they're bringing Gnaw holes the same way I would assume that everyone's bringing their fucking terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deathmaster can hide in a unit of Night Runners and pop out at the start of the combat phase. If you kill the unit, he takes a mortal wound, but he still pops out. And then he, again, on modified 6 or D3 mortal wounds, he can be quite fighty, but like most Skaven, then you're not bringing them for their armor. You're bringing them for their weak flesh to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very high movement army. In fairness, very high movement. I always say you're playing Skaven. The idea is you make your opponent play honestly while you play dirty. So you want to pop out of everywhere and be hurting people and running away. This looks like a list that can do that very well. It looks a lot of fun to play, as Draconda has said.
Yeah.
Love the lore. I've got a Skaven army. I love my Skaven army. Grass was second favorite. And yeah, and the last thing is a Warp Lightning Vortex. So this is a spell. It comes in 3 pieces. You set the first one up within 13 inches, and then each other one gets set up in basically equilateral triangle. It's the only triangle I remember from school. 6 inches away. If you're within 6 inches of it, on a 4 up, you take D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, on a modified 6 on a check, you take D6. For every pillar you are within 6 inches of, you get +1 to that roll. So if you're in the middle, it's a 2 up for D3, D6 with 6 up. So basically, what you're doing is you're dumping this in the middle of someone's army, and you're ruining their day. It goes off when it's set up, and then at every movement phase. And it's an 8. So it's not easy to get rid of. Like, unbinding something that's an 8, you don't want to be, really. So I like this list. I really do. I'm really happy with seeing a Skaven list here. I think it's going to be tough because Skaven's not in a great place right now, which only makes me respect the list more. So I will be talking to Paul when I see him there, because any excuse to talk Skaven, I like talking Skaven. Yeah. What about you guys? What do you think?
What do you think, Jason?
I've fought not exactly those, but I fought Yield Gutter Runners and Night Runners before.
Yeah.
And they just appear everywhere. You just starting to make the battlefield, and suddenly there's a screen there, another one back here, and like they're just going on. Just okay. It does kind of screw up your battle plans, because then you have to sort of think, oh, do I turn around? Do I not turn around? Do I run away? Do I just what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've Skittershank and his pack are the ones that do D3s, aren't they? D3 mortals on
the shooting.
Like
yeah. And any 6s that hit
are
mortal evasion toxins. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I've been wanting to see them on the board at some stage, because I think that it's 220 points, but I still think they're worth it. They look it on paper anyway, worth it. And Vermin Lords are Vermin Lords.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just big monsters. Semi-hard to put down. They're Skaven, so they're always able to be put down. But
it's a 4 up 5 up on 13 wounds, so probably about 21 wounds on average to get them down. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it.
Yeah, like I was just saying in chat and everything, Skaven's going to be my next 4.0 army once they release re-release the new model range and everything. I just love Skaven in general, and something like this just makes my heart grow fonder. So, Paul, good luck with this one. We hope you do well. Represent the Skaven as the one and only. We're now moving on to Slaves to Darkness. We're in the final furlong here, guys. We've got 4 lists left, and then hopefully we'll be able to get Russell back in to press that green button and let us do the pairings live and everything. We'll just do a quick overview on it. But bear with us, we're almost there, okay? So Adam Richardson is bringing in Host of the Ever Chosen, which means that Chaos Chosen, Knights and Warriors all value on a 5-up. And he's gone the grand strategy of Spellcasting Savant. We know what that is after all this time. Leaders are Chaos Sorcerer Lord is his general. He's got the Marker Chaos Zinch, which means a 6-up spell ignore. He's got the command trait of Master of Magic. We already know what that one is. Now, he has opted for a Griff Feather Charm. He has been alerted. Adam, if you are watching, sir, I don't know if it has been changed, Jason. Can you just check? It's no longer a valid artifact. But moving on from that whilst it's checking. Spells, Hoarfrost and Warp Reality. We then have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, also with a Marker Zinch. He has the Chaos Conduit, which is casting value of 7, a range of 12 inches. And the effect is you get to pick one eye of the guard unit and immediately roll on the table. Yay! And he also has Warp Reality, which is casting value of 6, 9-inch range. And once again, he gets to pick one Siege unit visible and take off the battlefield and reset it up anywhere on outside of 9 inches from enemy models. He then has Be'lakor in his army with Binding Damnation and Warp Reality. Chaos Lord on Karkadrak with the Mark Chaos of Nurgle, which is a -1 to wound against this unit, and he can also use the command ability because it's the Chaos Lord, which is at the start of the combat phase. They get to use it, and when the unit fights, roll a dice for each unit within 3 inches of it. Roll a dice for each unit within 3 inches of it, and they on the 3 up they suffer D3 mortal wounds. Gosh. Battle line wise, we've got 5 Chaos Chosen with the Mark of Nurgle. And they got the Blasphemous Icon, which means a -1 to chanting for non-Chaos Priests. He's got 5 Chaos Knights, a further 10 Chaos Warriors, 5 Chaos Chosen, once again with Nurgle, and the Eroding Icon. In this instance, the Eroding Icon worsens Rend by 1 for melee attacks into this unit. Then it has a unit of Ogroid Thermodons with the Mark of Chaos of Nurgle, and a Mutilith Vortex Beast. Coming in with core battalions of Antorian Acolyte and Battle Regiment, he's also opted to have Ravnak's Gnashing Jaws, 3 job, 2,000 points, and a BCP ranking of 4515. Michael, your thoughts?
Well, before we jump into that, the artifact has been fixed.
Okay.
The Feather Charm is gone, and Mike, you may have to help me on this one. The Chaos Lord on Karkadrak has the Conqueror's Crown.
Okay.
Yes. So the Conqueror's Crown is models of 2 wounds or less can't contest objectives while you're around them.
Cool.
Pretty sure that is it. Yes. So the list. Good list. First of all, thank you for bringing Roots for their Vortex Beast. You are my hero. I see some people bring stuff that I wish I had or have. It's a great piece. You've got a Zinchian guy in there, so you're going to be able to use him to his full ability. Basically, you roll a dice. On a 1 to 6, it gives you various buffs. On a 6, it does D6 mortal wounds to a unit. If you kill a model, bang, you're a Chaos Spawn. So I always take that. But with Zinch guy, you get roll 2 dice and pick the option you want. You want the 6. Right, don't be going lower. Pick the highest option. So yeah, delighted to see that. Be'lakor, every time I've played him, he's been an absolute pain in the ass. Every time I've used him, he's done nothing. So he's one of those classic pieces. But his main thing is he turns off something until his next hero phase. So each phase he rolls a dice, and if it's a 3-up, it doesn't do anything for that phase, essentially. So that can be a very good control piece. Like, your opponent needs to make a charge. No, he doesn't get made that charge anymore because I rolled a 3. Very, very good. Zinch Warp Reality is a teleport spell. That is only going to be useful on each other and the Vortex Beast because everything else is Nurgle. So Nurgle means you're -1 to wound, and the banner gives you -1 rend. So very sticky, very hard to move these units. 10 Chaos Warriors will break your soul before you get rid of them. So let's have a very control army, to be honest. Normally, you see Chaos all reinforced. This we have single units here. So brilliant. Really, really like this. Acolyte is a good choice because when you roll the hero action to roll 3 dice to cast, that's not modified, so you can add a primal dice to it. So fantastic stuff like that. So I am a massive fan of this list and the fact that someone's bringing Vortex Beast.
Fantastic. I see that Russell has joined our chat. Russell, great to have you back here and everything. We're just into the final 4 lists and everything, and then we'll be able to do the pairings with you and everything. Jason, if we just wrap up on this Adam Richardson one, any thoughts on this one at all?
Not hugely. I don't know much about Slaves to Darkness. I've only fought Mike's one, and that was when you were new to the tournament scene, honestly.
Yeah.
I know the Chaos Warriors are hard to shift. Chaos Chosen, just annoying. Your Bellicor stopped my Archon for a whole turn, which could have been worse actually, but it did enough. I am like you though. I love the fact that he's put a Vortex Beast in there. Just a laugh of a creature there. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick fun fact: every person in this stream has beaten the piss out of my Slayer to Darkness. So
I didn't beat it. You beat me. You won. I just
no, you beat me. It was when you went 4-1 at the London Open.
Shucks, yeah, that was fun times. Anyway,
we're on Chaos.
Sorry, mate.
Are we on Chaos lists?
We're on Adam Richardson with his Slaves to Darkness. We've got 3 more lists after this one, but they're all Slaves to Darkness. So, yeah. Okay, so we're now moving on to Gear Velded. Oh shoot, what happened? Okay, sorry guys, my screen's just gone completely black at the moment, so you're gonna have to bear with me for a second, unless you can do something. Mike, there we go, it's caught up.
Cool. So we're back to the Slaves of Darkness. Welcome back to the stream. We had a lovely break. Hope you had a nice time. We have starting out good start. Chaos Sorcerer Lord Mark of Nurgle. He's bringing the Horde Thrust. We have Bellicor of Demonic Speed, which is a spell that gives you a 3d6 charge. Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount, Undivided, with a Chaos Lance and the Conqueror's Crown, which is objective control. I think it's models of under 2 wounds cannot contest an objective. Battle Line, 6 Vanguard, Mark of Corn, 6 Fell Spear. 3 Vanguard, Mark of Corn, 3 Fell Spear. The Unmade, and 10 Mark of Nurgle, and an Eroding Icon, all wrapped up into a beautiful battle regiment that all coming together holding hands as a 1-drop and at 2,000 points. So, who would like to talk about this list first? Give me a volunteer.
Jason, do you want to give your thoughts?
And just like that. It's Vanguard. Fight twice, hit hard, especially with the Knights of the Empty Throne, run and charge. They have is it a spell or something that gives them 3d6 charge?
Yeah, Demonic Speed.
So, Demonic Speed, there you go. They're going to get into you, no matter what, they're going to get into you. So, with the 1-drop, I would fully expect a Alpha Strike army here and just get them into you, just fight and hold. When I fought it, strangely my OBR worked well against your Vanguard, but yeah, eventually, they were. It was a draw in the end. Actually, it was Manchester, wasn't it? It was a draw for your Vanguard, and yeah, I think it's a nice little list. Just you've got to get those Vanguard hitting early, quickly, and hard, and then we'll go from there, sort of thing. See what's left after that.
Yeah, this is a list 1 charge, 3d6 charge. This list will follow you out to your car. There's no way you're hiding on the board and staying away from these boys. Yeah, the Unmade, please correct me if I'm wrong here, means you cannot rally or inspiring presence within 12. You can't read. Russ, you want to offer some thoughts on this one?
I'm not the best looking at Slaves to Darkness, but I do know. Is it Ger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a real top player. I think he's part of the Norwegian Worlds team. Maybe captain. I'm not entirely sure. But, really good player. Does really well in his local sort of in the Scandinavian area. So you can guarantee it'd be piloted well.
Yeah. You don't get to a Worlds team of not being able to fight. Yeah, right. BCP ranking is 42. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. I think maybe this is just me as somebody who's a mid-table at best player, is that sometimes you look at the good lists and you look and you're like, I don't know what's happening here because I don't know how it works. But then you see them have super successes, and this is probably going to be an example of that. When I see 3 Vanguard, I'm like, why is that not reinforced? No, he's 42. I'm a fucking myself. So yeah, how about you, Paul? Any thoughts on this particular list?
Yeah, see this particular list, hopefully I'm coming through okay now. I had to change headsets, I do apologise. Yeah, this particular list, you got the Be'lakor in there, you got the Chaos Lord and Demonic Mount. It really could make some difference. You got the 6 Vanguard, which always going to be a bit punchy, and in addition the 3 further Vanguard. You can see what they're going to be doing. 10 Chaos shows and just going to be really hard to shove off and move and everything. And like Russell was just saying, gear being in there as well, it's going to do what it wants to do. Yeah, he's going to do what he wants to do. Sorry. So overall, I think it's nothing to really say different, to be honest. But with that, then we'll move on to the next one. I really do apologise. We made 7.5, 8 hours of fine. Then my computer went no. But well, come on, let's get down. We've got 2 more lists to do now. We've got Rob Wales up next. We have in this one then, so he's going with the spoilers, which means +2 wounds for monsters, and each demon prince can be given a command trait in addition to your normal general. Dominating presence as a grand strategy, so at least 1 unit wholly within each quarter of the battlefield. And then he's going with the Inspired Triumph. We've got the Magister from the Coven of Thrix in here. We've got the Slaves to Darkness Demon Prince, which is very interesting to see actually, with the Helm of the Oppressor, meaning that enemy units within 6 inches of the bearer cannot use the Inspiring Presence or Rally. And he's got the Mark of Chaos and Nurgle. He's got a second Demon Prince in here with the Arcane Tone and Chaos marking of Zinch. He's then got an Exalted Hero Chaos as his general, with the command trait of Favoured of the Pantheon, which means that after deployment you can roll once on the Eye of Gods table. Pretty nice indeed, and has the Mark of Chaos and Nurgle. And then we have a further Exalted Hero Chaos in there with the Slanesh Chaos mark on there. Battle line wise, we've got 10 Chaos Warriors coming in, 20 Splinter Tang, 2 units of Corvus Cabal, and then we've got the Horrors of Zinch in there from the Coven of Thrix, and then just for you, Michael, 4 Mutalith Vortex Beasts. Core battalion wise, Wizard Finders of Antor, Warlord Regiment, Warlord Battalion, Regiment of Renown, which has to come along, and you get those 3 endless spells as a consequence of being in that Regiment of Renown. 14-13 drops, I think it was something we were just picking up on that one. 1980 points and a BTP ranking of 2252. We'll keep this nice and punchy and everything to keep it fast. Michael, any thoughts?
Yeah, 4 Vortex Space. I'll print my trophy off. Fair play. Yeah, +1. The Demon Princes are benefiting from the +2 wounds. So that's what they're, as are the Vortex Beasts. What's the Dominating Presence? Yeah, so this is like a side list again. 10 Chaos Warriors. I think this is more going to be playing with Vortex Beasts than anything else. Putting D6, turning people into Chaos Spawn. That said, I think the Coven of Thrix is a good choice. I mean, it's 320 points. But yeah, the horrors don't get a split, but all those endless spells come with it. It's a nice bit of... a nice change to how the Chaos Slaves Diamonds normally play. Yeah, no, a great list. It's got 4. I can't look past 4 Vortex Space. I just want to go. I want to go pet him. I'm just going to go hang on his guy all day, try and be his friend. Maybe he'll buy me one.
Yeah, Jason, any thoughts on this one at all?
Nothing more than Mike said. As soon as I saw this, 4 Vortex Beasts, just a laugh. Why not?
Yeah.
2 Demon Princes on the board from the beginning is nice. I know you say Mike never rates them that much, but it's interesting to see on the board at least. But yeah, an interesting enough list.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel, Russ, about this one, but we're like 2 Demon Princes in there. You don't normally see that kind of thing in a list of this kind of magnitude. You got Corvus Cabal and Chaos Warriors. It's yeah.
Same as the other guys. Like, I'm just thrilled to see 4 Mutalith in there. Like, kudos to Rob.
Rob's a great man. Doing something right for us.
That's for me. It's list of the tournament.
Yeah,
just popping 4 Mutalith down. Brilliant. He'll get a few mentions online about that. Like, well done, Rob. Love to see it. He's got some good tech in there as well. Like you said, with the Unmade, he'll mess a few people around. And sorry, the the Magister and all
Probably,
the and the other stuff. Like, but it's just going to be great to see 4 Mutalith on the table.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, as usual, Rob's army will look beautiful. So
Oh,
can't wait.
absolutely. No, definitely. Rob, sir, it'll be great to see you at the tournament, and good luck. And now our final list is one of our own Rusty Nukes, just by chance. We're going in with Benjamin Hall. We have got Bellicor in there. Oh, sorry, Knights of the Empty Throne. So basically, mountain units can run and charge, and Vanguard have a value of 5 up. Overshadow, secure the battle line and keep one of yours alive. We've got Bellicor in there. We've got Chaos Sorcerer Lord with the Marcus Chaos of Tzeentch. We've got Chaos Familiar with the Artifact Power, which allows him to cast once per battle. He gets to add 1 to his casting, and he can choose any spell from his lore. He also then has Hoarfrost and Warp Reality. Second Chaos Sorcerer Lord with the Mark of Tzeentch, Merciless Blizzard and Warp Reality. And then he's gone completely cliche on this one with Reinforced Unit of Vanguard ×2. 2 units of Chorus Cabal, 6 Furies for a little bit of fluttiness, and all wrapped into a battle regiment with the Geminids of Ulgish, 1 drop, 1990, with a BCP ranking of 3718. I don't like the idea of lots of Vanguard, but I know it's very it does the job and everything. Any thoughts from you, Russ?
Yeah, I like it. I'm always a fan of Vanguard, and I think particularly since we changed the coherency rules, I think units of 6 got that little bit better.
Yeah.
Able to all get them in now and run around. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's one of my favourite Chaos lists. I love Bellicor. Bellicor in any list is a great piece.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jason?
Exactly the same. 12 Vanguard on the table. Love it, hate it, but it's going to do damage. It's going to do well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael?
Yeah, love it. Played it. Been trashed by it. The Furies are a great shout for getting something to the backboard by retreating them. Vanguard are just something else. And what you say about the coherency is absolutely right. But you can see now in sorcered weapons being brought, which are more attacks because all 6 can get in now. So there's a lot of bonus to that. Bellicor, as you say, is a great control piece. And with this particular one, when you're already controlling because of how tough you are to move, I mean, you might have a great plan to counter it, and Bellicor just goes, "No, you don't get to do that now." And you gotta like it. As much as I hate Ben himself, he knows that's a joke, kind of.
No, of course. Of course. Yeah, a very straightforward list for any kind of STD player on this one, in and smash with the potential on the back lines and everything. Ben, we'll see you there, sir. Thank you so much for showing us your list on that one, and good luck on there. And with that, guys, we are now at the end of the lists. We have gone through many elements just then. I want to say thank you so much for staying with us throughout all of this.